Unfortunately, leaky toilets are a common problem, which is why it's important to check for leaks once or twice a year. A leaky toilet can waste over 200 gallons a day, causing high water and wastewater bills.
From Houchin-Smith Stadium in Bowling Green, we're on the air for Western Kentucky at FIU in the penultimate game of the 2020 regular season. Alongside former Western Kentucky quarterback Brandon Dowdy, Nate Gatter with you from Bowling Green. Butch Davis's FIU Panthers are 0-4 on the season, looking for what would be their first win in nearly a calendar year since they knocked off Miami down in South Florida a year ago. On the other side, it's been a step back for Western Kentucky in year 2 under Tyson Helton. After a 9-win season a year ago, just 3 this season. And Brandon, certainly the Hilltoppers will be looking to turn it around today.
They are, and it's going to be an interesting game for the future of these two programs. I think collectively they have to find an identity, FIU and Western Kentucky. WKU's got to find an identity in what they're going to be. FIU's got to figure out who their quarterback is, so it'll be interesting to see late in the season who steps up for each team and moving forward is their guys.
A couple of teams that have struggled to throw the ball, played some good defense. We're expecting a grinded-out battle today in Bowling Green. Kickoff coming up next. Western Kentucky and FIU ready to kick it off on a pleasant Saturday afternoon for football in Bowling Green. Nate Gatter, Brandon Dowdy back with you on ESPN3. FIU won the toss and elected to defer, so Western Kentucky will receive the opening kick and go on offense first. And Brandon, for Tyson Helton, for Tyrell Pigram, this is what you're talking about, finding an identity for this Hilltoppers offense, something that even in Game 10 they're still looking for. Yeah,
they have to find an identity. You know, talking to the coaches earlier this week, they wanted to figure out who they're going to be on offense. And I think that they got to figure out if they're going to be a run-first team, they're going to be a pass-first team, are they going to use the pass to set up the run, or are they going to use the run to set up the pass? And in this game, I looked for Pigram to come out being very aggressive running the football. FIU has kind of struggled with running dual-threat quarterbacks and in the run game, so I would suspect Tyson Helton to understand that, but make sure that his quarterback's not getting hit as much as he can. So it'll be interesting to see how they start off this game, you know, if they're going to do what they think they're going to do, but knowing Coach Helton and this offense, he's going to do exactly what you don't think is going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see what their identity is today and if they're kind of build on that going forward.
Western Kentucky looking for back-to-back wins for the first time this season after a 10-7 victory in this building over Southern Miss last Saturday. Meanwhile, FIU coming off a 19-point Shula Bowl loss last Friday at home. Kickoff will come from Tommy Heatherly, senior transfer from Grove, Oklahoma. Western Kentucky is without Dayton Wade again to return, so it's Noah Whittington and Jeremiah Falls deep. Whittington had tried to call for a fair catch. He didn't get it given. He has to come late across the 15, and he's buried at the 16. He waved his arm after catching the kick. And so rather than getting it at the 25, play continued, and Western Kentucky will start from back at its own 16-yard line.
Nate, last time I was in the booth, funny that just happened. Last time I was up here doing a game, it was the Charlotte game, and the exact opposite happened. And Charlotte takes back a kickoff, and the up back signals for what looked like a fair catch, but in my eyes it wasn't. But it looked like a fair catch. Now he comes back and gives a fair catch after he catches the ball. I just thought it was a funny way to start a broadcast.
And it looks like Tyson Helton is asking for a little clarification from our officials. So because Western Kentucky signaled for the fair catch after the ball was caught, the ball's going to be dead at the spot.
Wow.
And to my eye, Brandon, that would take the Hilltoppers all the way back at least to their own 2, maybe to their own 1-yard line.
Wow, can't start any worse for the Hilltoppers. Now you got to backed up. And your mentality changes as an offense right now, just kind of trying to get one first down, set yourself up for a punt. But you know, you script 10 plays to start a game, and you don't expect to be on the -2 to start your day. So especially when you receive the ball, we'll see what happens.
Tyrell Pigram, the graduate transfer from Maryland at quarterback for Western Kentucky. He's completed nearly 58% of his passes for 136 yards a game, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions this year. Gage Walker bounces through the middle, out near the 5, where he's brought down by Josh Powell after a gain of 3 to set up 2nd down and 7 for the Tops.
What you need to look for in this game is, from the quarterback perspective, you're going to understand what FIU is doing. They're very simple in the fact of they're going to make sure that they're sound fundamentally in cover 4, cover 1, but you'll know exactly what coverage they're going to be in. So a quarterback, you just got to execute. We'll see if Pigrome can do that today.
And the last thing FIU needed is another injury. The Panthers have had 13 starters miss time this year, and that looks like Jamal Gates, the senior linebacker from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, who is 2nd on the team in tackles this year. And they're already without Tyson Maeva, the redshirt senior who transferred in from Boise State, got hurt in the first quarter of the Shula Bowl last week. Just a defense that has lost a lot up front and now is in danger of having lost both of its starting linebackers just one play into this game. It was Maeva last week. He did not make the trip with the Panthers to Bowling Green today, and now Gates up and able to walk off, but a player who has appeared in every game for FIU since his redshirt year. And now limping off under his own power, but you'd have to think that it's going to be a long road for him to get back on the field, and without him, FIU is very, very thin at linebacker.
Next man up, Nader.
Dimitri Prophet is in, 51 in white, next to Josh Powell. It's 2nd down and 6 for Western Kentucky. They gave Walker 4 yards on the opening play.
Man coverage.
Pigrome hands to Walker, and not much for him off the left side. A gain of maybe a yard where he's met by Rocky Jacques-Louis.
Looks like early in this game, FIU's played man first 2 snaps. Looks like they're going to try to make WKU beat them over top, which I think is smart. Pigrome and the Hilltoppers have really struggled to have explosive plays in the pass game, and I think they're challenging them early to say, hey, you're going to beat us over top. We're not going to give you anything easy, get you in rhythm early in this game. So I like the game plan.
3rd down and 5. Pigrome to throw for the first time. Has time, finds Burt right at the first down marker when he's hit by Jacques-Louis, and he has enough to move the chains for the Hilltoppers right at the line to gain out to the 12. A completion for Pigrome, who has thrown 8 touchdowns without an interception this year. One of only 3 quarterbacks in FBS who can say that, but he's thrown for only 136 yards a game.
Yeah, well, if he does this right here, he can throw for a lot more. Patience, gets off his first read, moves to his second read. That actually was 3rd in the progression. And if he's moving up in the pocket, he has his best chance to be successful in the pass game.
Keeps it, has a couple of Panthers in his way. He's hit in the backfield by Dames and brought to the ground. Rashard Dames, the redshirt junior defensive back from Miami, gets Pigrome for a loss, and Western Kentucky is back behind the chains inside its own 10-yard line again.
They have to do that. They have to allow, the key to this game for FIU is not allowing Pigrome in this offense to be in 3rd and manageable situations. And by doing that, you have to make him make decisions down the field, 3rd read, 2nd read, do that consistently. So they need to find a way to make Pigrome a little uncomfortable in these long and distance 3rd down situations.
2nd and 13. Pigrome with a clean pocket. Down the field toward Tinsley in double coverage, and it's knocked away. Coverage by Hall and Prophet. It's a linebacker getting all the way back there to provide support for his corner, and it's incomplete.
I actually like the aggressiveness. Man coverage, they play one funnel coverage. I don't know about the alert shot down the middle of the field with the 1 high safety, but I like the aggressiveness coming out early in this game. Tyson Helton talked about getting explosive plays. He's going to try to figure it out.
Helton said he felt like that's the only thing they're not doing consistently on offense. They've been moving the ball, but it's one of the reasons they've had 15, 17, 20 play drives that have come up short. They haven't been able to find the big gainers. 3rd and 13, Pigrome needs a big gain here. That's not going to do it, and it's incomplete through the hands of Craig Burt Jr., but even if he'd caught it, it wouldn't have gotten them anywhere near the marker, so Western Kentucky gains only 7 yards on its opening possession and will have to punt.
And they played in the hands of FIU, created a negative play on 1st down, made that a long distance shot. I know you had 2, so young quarterbacks. If you're a young quarterback listening and you're in backed up -10, and you need 13, 12, 13 yards, over 10 yards, your mindset needs to be on second down. I need to find a way to get half. If I can get us in a manageable situation on third down, I will set us up for success to be successful, to ultimately get our goal to get 2 first downs coming out.
Bryce Singleton has a seam around the right side, makes another man miss, and he's out near midfield. It was a booming punt from John Haggerty that covered nearly 55 yards, but a return gets FIU near midfield. Nothing doing for the Tops on their first possession. The Panthers get it when we come back.
Aww.
Final finish should be the first words out of your mouth after an accident.
Accidents, big or small, call Final Finish.
The thing I know about Franklin Bank and Trust is that they are large enough to serve your banking needs, but small enough to know you.
We want to know our bank gives back to the community.
When I call my bank, I want to talk to a real person.
Yes, we need a local banker that we can depend on.
Franklin Bank and Trust wants to keep banking personal. That's why all of our banking decisions are made at the local level. That's what you do in a hometown bank. You put people first.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Shared memories become shareable moments. Make more of them this holiday with Bluegrass Cellular, where Black Friday lasts all week long, so you can shop on your time. Create more great memories with our best smartphone brands, starting at the unforgettable price of just $6 per month. Get focused on your picture-perfect holiday with more days to shop. Bluegrass Cellular. Black Friday expanded.
Take it from me, quitting tobacco isn't easy. It can take several attempts before you can finally quit for good. So if at first you don't succeed, quit. Quit again. And remember, even though quitting is hard, you don't have to do it alone. Quit Now Kentucky is with you every step of the way. For free help quitting tobacco, text QUIT KY to 797979 or go to quitnowkentucky.org.
Oh, final finish should be the first words out of your mouth after an accident.
Accidents, big or small, call Final Finish.
Hi, my name is Selma Kulo.
Western Kentucky had to start its opening possession from its own 2-yard line. FIU will start from the -48, only 52 yards separating the Panthers from the end zone, and they will be under the direction of Max Bortenschlager, the transfer from Maryland, former teammates with Tyrell Pigram, who finished the Shula Bowl last Friday. He came in late in the third quarter with Stone Norton, the redshirt freshman, struggling mightily. Bortenschlager played well to finish it. And he begins in the pistol for FIU with Devontae Price behind him, having a fantastic season. And he's into Western Kentucky territory immediately for a gain of 4.
Yeah, he went with the experience. I like that. You know, as a coach, winless, just trying to find a way to get a win. Go with the experience. When in doubt, if it's even, go with the guys that's played a little bit more football. And but I do think it's going to be open competition. I have a feeling we'll see both of them today.
FIU has suffered significant injuries at running back, so Price has become the workhorse. Has a seam off left guard, makes contact at the 45 and pushes Devin Key close to the first down marker. Looks like he's going to be about half a yard short, just inside the Western Kentucky 43-yard line.
Early in this game, advantage FIU. I know it's pretty gone without saying. Here we go, guys.
Bortenschlager on the sneak. He only needed maybe a foot or two, and it looks like he got just enough to move the sticks for the Panthers. 1st and 10 at the 42.
I know it's easy to say, but for FIU, advantage them. You know, they got a positive 5-yard rush on first down, another 4 or 5-yard rush on second down, and get into a 3rd and 1, and you can be manageable and be set up to sustain big-time drives in doing that.
Off play action, Bortenschlager under pressure, hit as he throws, and it's out of bounds, incomplete. D'Angelo Malone, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in Conference USA, applied the pressure, and Brandon, we're expecting an awful lot of that. Western Kentucky likes to rush, and FIU has struggled to block.
They have, and the counter for that is getting your quarterback out of the pocket. You can't let him sit in there with an All-American defensive end, D'Angelo Malone, breathing down your neck. So you got to find ways to switch up the launching point as a coordinator to make sure that he's not sitting back there at 9.5 yards just teeing off on him. So I like the call. Got to get a little bit better execution. Got to get a better play on first down. But you know, it's where you are on the field. It's okay to take that shot, and then they follow up with a 5-yard carry, and now they're in third and manageable. That's exactly what they want to be in. If they want to have any type of success against a potent defense like they have, they're going to be facing tonight at Western Kentucky. They have to be in these third and manageable situations to allow their quarterback to be successful.
Good start for Price, but 3rd down and 5 facing Bordenschlager now. Only 2 wide receivers for the Panthers.
2-down territory. Just get half.
Into traffic. It's caught by Rivaldo Fairweather. Down to the 30. First down FIU. That was a bullet from Bordenschlager. And he found Fairweather, who emerged as his favorite target last week. 7 catches, 116 yards, and a touchdown for the true freshman tight end.
As you can see, Bordenschlager does a good job with his eyes. Zone coverage by the Hilltoppers. He uses his eyes to manipulate linebackers, opening up a crease so they can get a completion on 3rd down. Big conversion. They have had 2 already on this possession.
Price bottled up in the backfield for a moment, reverses field completely, and has a positive gain of a couple before he's swarmed by Malone, Craig, Kincaid. Whole law firm of Western Kentucky defenders arrived to hold Price to a gain of a yard.
Yeah, they got to control the offensive line, defensive line. The battle is going to be won in this game on the offense and defensive line, and on paper, you would say the Hilltoppers would win that battle 98 times out of 90, but that's why you play the game. You got to understand that, you know, we got to win the path of attack, and that happens in the 1 yard from the line of scrimmage.
Bordenschlager to the flat for Price. He's hit right away and knocked out of bounds by Roger Cray again. Give him a gain of a yard, but this is more the territory Western Kentucky would like to see, Brandon, with 3rd and 8 coming up.
Exactly. You know, now you get a pretty bad run on first down. You get a bad look running a one-back power to an overload. You can't do that. You wasted a play on first down, got behind the sticks on 2nd down with a 1-yard completion. Now you're in 3rd and 8, and you might be in 2-down territory with 0 wins, so you might want to try to get half, but at the same time, you might want to take the point. So see how they execute here.
Bordenschlager wants to go downfield toward Holloman. Jump ball touchdown. J.J. Holloman, the transfer from Georgia, has his first FIU touchdown, and the Panthers lead 6-0.
Wow, what a throw. 3rd and 8, they go all verts on man coverage, and they say, our guy's better than yours. Fantastic ball, fantastic catch. Go high point it, go get it. Looked like DBs were sleeping on that play.
Butch Davis has been cursed this year in whatever quarterback he chooses to start has struggled, and his quarterbacks have only played well off the bench. Perhaps not today.
No, that's the way you want to start it. Get the kid in rhythm early. That's what happens when you convert 2 3rd downs in mediums early in the game. He's got the confidence to throw a one-on-one ball, make a play.
Chase Gabriel tacks on the extra point. 3rd down and 8, FIU. FIU wasted no time, 9 plays, 52 yards, and the Panthers opening possession, looking for their first win of the season. Still riding a 6-game losing streak going back to last year, but they're out to a 7-0 lead on the road in the early going. And Tommy Heatherly will kick it away again to Western Kentucky. Noah Whittington is back deep again. Only his 2nd return of the year was the opener here. They kick it toward him, and he lets it go into the end zone. He called a fair catch after having caught the football. Western Kentucky had to start from its own 2-yard line. And not only did the Hilltoppers fail to move the ball consistently, they only got it out to the 9. In the end, they set FIU up with excellent field position starting from its own 48, and the Panthers made rather quick work of that drive.
They did. And to your point, I think on the sideline, he was told not to touch that ball no matter what the look was.
Send him back out there, but tell him don't be touching the ball, son.
Touching the ball. Don't put the hand up, just let it bounce.
Tyrell Pigram And the Hilltoppers start from their own 25. Walker off a counter, left side. Good penetration by FIU, and Walker was fortunate to even get a yard.
Yeah, played zone coverage there. So funny how the schematics of the game, the chess match, essentially, the first drive of the game, they have success at FIU on defense. Coach says, you know what, we're not going to make them feel comfortable. We're going to go to a zone. So they go to a zone 3 high. We'll see how they handle the rest of the drive. If they keep with those calls throughout the drive, or they switch up to man. Looks like man coverage is going to be the answer here.
2nd down and 9. Walker again bounces it back to the left, and he has a gain of 3. That'll set up 3rd down and 6.
3rd and 6, right on the brink of being a long distance, but good run by Gage Walker. Just getting what he can, getting his foot in the dirt. A lot of these young running backs, they like to bounce it outside. It looks sexy on film that you can bounce it outside and make somebody miss in the open field, but like Pigram had in his first run, he went horizontally. You got to go vertical. If you go vertical, put your foot in the ground, the best running backs I've been around have been the guys that can finish those runs downhill.
3rd down and 6, Pigram to throw. Has time again. Jacques Louis coming and closes the gap to take him down to the 31. Pigram was trying to communicate with his sophomore tight end Joshua Simon and get him to adjust off his route and throw a block. Didn't happen. Gain of 2 sets up another Western Kentucky punt.
Interesting here. 3 third downs in this game for the Hilltoppers. 3 guess wrongs by offense coordinator Brian Ellis and Tyson Helt. Man coverage beaters on each 3 possession. They got away with it on the first one because it was short yardage. The zone coverage, you kind of outran the zone coverage on the drive routes. Next 2, they think man, they get zone, and you see the effects. They're 1 for 3 on 3rd down now.
Short line drive punt by John Haggerty. Kind of an ugly one, but he got lucky in the end that it bounced too far in front of the FIU return men and rolled all the way down to the 13-yard line. And so the Panthers will have significantly worse starting field position on this possession after a Haggerty punt of 56 yards and no return.
I think the key to this drive, Nate, is going to be keeping Bordenschlager in rhythm. Got to keep him in rhythm. Not wait. I wouldn't give the ball 3 plays in a row here. I would maybe throw it here on 1st down, take a little shot, especially when momentum is kind of on your side. If you're a Golden Panther right now, I would make sure that we are watching how they manage this drive, because it's a pretty big drive early in this game.
Bordenschlager to throw on 1st down. Downfield to Holloman. Had only 5 catches the first 4 games of the year. That's 2 catches in 2 possessions today, and he's out to the 39-yard line with a gain of 26.
Fantastic call, fantastic route. See how he gets, at top of that route, he doesn't have leverage outside. Defensive backs are winning that route, but he does a good job of stacking the receiver. What he does, what I mean by that is stemming forward, getting on his toes as a DB, and breaking out. Great route right there, great ball. And they're rolling right now. They got to be careful if I'm a Western Kentucky fan.
Handoff on the jet sweep goes for very little, maybe a gain of a yard. For E.J. Wilson Jr., true freshman from Sefner, Florida. That's his 2nd career carry. He got his first last week, and it went for -4. So this time he's in the positives.
Got to find a way to get some pressure on Bordenschlager early in this game. He's really in rhythm on his spots, is making good throws when he hits in his spot. And when a quarterback's in rhythm, it's easy to make completions.
Price bounces outside to the sideline, and he has a pickup of 5. He was sent to the ground by Dominique Bradshaw, redshirt junior from Dallas, but you can see what makes Price so good. Consistently, even with not a lot there at the line of scrimmage, finding 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, he does a great job of finishing runs downhill. Best running back that I've been around, and I hope other guys aren't watching this, but Leon Allen, I think they would agree. Leon Allen here at Western Kentucky was the greatest running back I've ever been around, and why? He finished every run downhill, and that's what makes a good running back a great running back.
Up in the air toward Price. That was supposed to go into the flat. Western Kentucky covered it well, and Bordenschlager had pressure in his face.
Yep, that's what they got to do. They got to make him feel uncomfortable. He got off his spot, inaccurate play, inaccurate throw. Now you got to force a punt and get the momentum back on your side if you're a Hilltopper fan.
That's Eli Brown, the 60-year senior transfer from Kentucky back to his hometown here at Bowling Green, who put the pressure on Bortenschlager unblocked, and FIU will have its first punt of the day from Tommy Heatherly. The Hilltoppers have Mitchell Tinsley deep. Doesn't look like he'll get a chance at a return on this one toward the corner, and it checks up right around the Western Kentucky 15-yard line. They'll put it at the 14, and that's where the Hilltoppers will start on their third possession. Not much for Western Kentucky on its first two possessions, just one first down. The Hilltoppers will start from their own 14, down 7-0 to FIU in the early going. Nate Gatter, Brandon Dowdy back with you from Bowling Green. Joshua Simon in motion. Pigram hands to Walker. There's very little there for him. Falls forward across the 15 for a gain of 2. But so far, Walker has been handed the ball 5 times, only 11 yards.
Yeah, gotta find creative ways to get him involved in the offense. But also gotta get your quarterback in rhythm here. He's a little out of rhythm. He's been off his first read on a couple plays in a row. Gotta get him on his first read, get him an easy completion. Just kind of let the ball, see the ball be completed right now is more important than anything, in my opinion.
Just one completion so far for Pigram for 5 yards. That was on the opening possession. Looks to the right, hits Tinsley on a contested catch, makes a man miss at the 20, and another to get out to the 25. It was Dames, the initial man he juked back at the 20, who eventually fell on him from behind, but a first down for the Hilltoppers.
Stick route, easy read for the quarterback, in rhythm, like I said, first read, throws out there with accuracy. Once you get accuracy, you get run after catch. That's what this offense is built on getting the receivers the ball accurately and letting them do the work in space.
Pickup of 9 for Western Kentucky to set up 1st and 10 from the 35. Pigram straight drop. Out wide toward Burt. Late to see it. The Hilltoppers bench wanted a flag, didn't get it. Did look like there was contact at the top of the route from Josh Turner, the junior transfer from Iowa. But he gets the incompletion and brings up 2nd and 10.
I like it. I like the route. Route was a little deep. I would say about a yard deep. Call that a Venus route. Stop 9. So 9-yard stop, really what it is. Pigram does a good job of putting on the outside. Young quarterbacks, when you have a 9-yard stop, that ball needs to be on the outside shoulder of your receiver. Pigram does a good job there. Just got to make a contested catch.
2nd and 10. Pigram to throw again. On the quick slant to Tinsley, who has a gain of 6 before he's brought down by Rashard Dames' brother, Richard Dames, born 3 minutes apart. Senior and a redshirt junior for FIU.
You can see Pigram's confidence kind of growing slowly and slowly. He's in rhythm on these last 3 throws. Very interesting early in this game. They figured, hey, Gage Walker's not getting going. Let's try to throw it and open up the run game with the passes, kind of get them to become a little bit softer and not pin their ear back for the run.
They're down in 4.
Zone coverage.
4th straight pass for Pigram off a play fake. He's under immediate pressure. Somehow gets out of it. Makes another man miss, and he's close to a first down right there at the 45. It looks like they're going to mark him just short. Should say the 35, about half a yard short.
Just a glimpse of Pigram's athleticism. Why the coaching staff raves about this kid being such an unbelievable athlete. Well, in today's NFL and college, he's becoming the norm. But fantastic jukey dookies. I don't know nothing about that stuff. I can't do any of it myself, so I have no analyst job for knowing how to juke somebody at the proper technique to do that. But great play. They looked like they tried to run a screen pass. FIU snuffed it out and did a good job of getting back to the line of scrimmage, almost getting a first down. But as a quarterback, man, and I know I hate to be the negative guy in the booth, man, you got to find a way to get that. You got that space. You made a great man miss. You made somebody else miss. You got to find a way to know where you're at on the field and pick up that first down. And maybe I'm being overly critical, but for me, that's a momentum shifter in the game, man. You can really get the guys to believe in you if they have any lack of belief. So it'll be interesting to see how they do in the next series, but I really liked how they were getting Pigram in rhythm on that drive. We'll see if FIU does the same on the opposite side. Chess match is real here.
Another 56-yard punt for Haggerty. Did you agree with the decision to punt it there in your own territory, even on 4th down about half a yard?
Statistically, I think make them drive the length of the field. You've been losing the hidden yardage battle in this game early, but make them drive the length of the field and do it consistently. I think that was a good call because you kind of gain the hidden yardage. They get 3 and out here, got a short field, and able to get some points.
Dominic Bradshaw in coverage on that first incompletion intended for Bryce Singleton. First time that FIU will set up this deep in its own territory. And the Panthers have gone a little bit away from Devontae Price compared to that first possession, which set up the 28-yard touchdown throw. Here's Price with a seam. He is hit by Nick Days, but falls forward for a gain of 9. Days is in there for Kyle Bailey, who is out, we're told, with a non-COVID and non-injury related situation. But Days is going to get most of the reps there for the very important WKU linebacker, Kyle Bailey.
Absolutely. Lose a guy like that, especially late, next guy up mentality, but when that next guy hasn't gotten as many reps, you can't replicate game reps. So he's getting his first real live game reps, consistent live game reps in this game. We'll see how it transpires.
3rd and less than a yard. Price to the outside. Stiff arm against Kincaid. He's wrestled to the ground at the 24, but he has another FIU first down. Hasn't been overly pretty for Price, but that's 7 carries for 34 yards.
I like Price's game. He's got really good patience. I don't know if it's the hair or what, or the number, or I don't know, but he reminds me of Todd Gurley a little bit back there. Got good patience, but when he needs to click it on, he has that second gear to make sure that he gets what he needs and he finishes forward every single play. I'm impressed early in this game with Price.
They've given him 8 touches already in the first 14 minutes. Handoff goes into the middle to Malik Williams. No, Bortenschlager kept it, and he's chased to the boundary by Eli Brown, who holds him to a loss of a yard. Good pursuit again by Brown.
That's an RPO, the sexy word of an RPO, run pass option. Receiver, single receiver. The read for the quarterback is if you have a clean box, so that means you got enough offenders to block the defenders, you give the ball. But they had a dirty box in that situation with the safety drop down, one-on-one. They're supposed to run a little hitch route. Receiver never got the signal, and that's why you get -1.
2nd and 11. Looked like there might have been early movement on the FIU line, but it does not matter. Jeremy Darvin gets through for the sack. First time Bortenschlager has been sacked today. Likely will not be the last.
Well, there's another miscommunication. That's bad to see as a coach, frustrating to see as a coach. 2 plays in a row where you have 2 miscommunications. Look like everyone was set up for a running back screen, and the running back didn't get the signal or didn't do the screen. So you can't win with back-to-back bad plays like that. Now your mindset shifts. Next snap, you got to make sure you take care of this ball.
3rd down and 19 when we get back. Through a quarter, FIU up 7-0 early, but Western Kentucky trying to grab some of that momentum back. Third down and 19 facing FIU from its own 15-yard line to begin the second quarter. Brandon, are you going to go for the sticks or something more conservative?
No, I'm a screen or draw here. No way that they take a shot down the field.
It is Price to the right side, pursued by Malone, who slings him down around the 20 after a pickup of 5. But FIU will have to punt, and that's exactly what you said about why Western Kentucky would pass up that 4th and half a yard from its own territory, get a quick stop, get the ball back around the same spot on the field.
Exactly, yeah, and just kind of reset. Just reset your offense. You got to keep Pigram in rhythm, but you also got to get the run game going. You got to get off the ball. I think FIU's done a really good job here of not being overly complicated in the run game. I think that's why they've had better yards per carry early in this game, because they just have simplified it and said, hey, we're going to try to do this our way, and you're going to adjust.
Booming punt by Heatherly takes Tinsley inside his own 20. He makes one miss, but then he's corralled and brought to the ground at the 24-yard line. What a punt,
great punt
by Tommy Heatherly, and that sets up Western Kentucky in much worse field position than they otherwise might have expected. Looked like, by my eye, a 61-yard punt. They only give him to the 24, 56 yards of net, but I think that'll end up as a 61-yard punt for Heatherly. In any event, Western Kentucky still looking for offense.
Yes, they are. they got to find a way to get Pigram in motion, in rhythm, still keep him in rhythm, because I think he kind of developed a little momentum late in that drive, got off a little bit on third down with the screen pass, but got to do a good job of keeping him in rhythm, but got to get Gage Walker going. They got numbers to the right here. A run right would be good.
Pigram gives to Walker. Off right tackle for a yard. It's been a lot of that. Give him maybe 2 in the end. 2nd down and 8. That's 6 carries for him, but just over 2 yards a carry for Walker so far.
Hilltoppers are losing the point of attack right now. If you watch it from our angle right here, the game is won 1.5 yards on opposite one side of the ball. So if FIU is winning the point of attack, that means they're winning the 1.5 yards on the line of scrimmage, parallel with what you're seeing right now on the broadcast.
Pigram to throw on 2nd and 8. Downfield routes, nothing's there. He throws late to the sideline for Lane, who has it across the 40 with a Western Kentucky first down.
Great play by Pigram, extending the play with his feet. Everything was covered. Only 3-man concept. They blocked it up, anticipating maybe FIU was going to give some pressure, but great play, great scramble drill, as you say. It's practice nowadays, especially when you have a mobile quarterback back there. Sometimes you got to create explosive plays with your legs in the pass game by extending them, and getting off the launch point.
1st and 10 from the 41. Pigram to throw against a blitz. To the outside for Taylor. It's caught. Make that Therese Trainer into FIU territory. Another first down on back-to-back long completions from Pigram.
Back-to-back long completions, but back-to-back calls by Tyson Helton and Brian Ellis. All goes. Again, 2 plays in a row, run all goes. Pigram does a good job throwing that back shoulder fade ball. Maybe a tad bit of a push-off, but hey, you got to play the ball just as much as the offense does. Got man coverage again here.
2nd catch of the season for the redshirt sophomore Trainer. Simon in motion, play action to Walker. Simon's all alone in the flat, and Bulls upfield across the 35, where he takes a big hit after a gain of 9. The blow delivered by Dimitri Profit, but the Tops will take it. 2nd down and 1.
Momentum's building for their quarterback, the playmakers outside, but more importantly, the momentum is shifting for the offensive coordinator. He's having trust in making plays, getting guys out in space. Like I talked about earlier, this offense is about getting guys out in space. They've done that on this drive.
And what do you know, there's a little space for Gage Walker. He's been looking for daylight, and he finds it down to the 25 with a gain of 9, his longest run of the day.
Well, Nate, that's what a pass game does. It opens up the run game, gives a talented running back like Gage Walker the ability to make guys miss with a little bit of space in there. He hasn't seen it much, so when you're able to throw the ball down the field vertically, or just even have the threat of throwing it vertically, it allows the defense to play a little softer.
Haven't seen any running back other than Walker yet. Motion man is Tinsley. Pigram keeps it toward Trainer. It's batted away at the last moment athletically by Dorian Hall.
Another RPO there, sexy RPO. Got to give that one if you're Gage Walker. I'm not gonna lie, or I'm sorry, Pigram. If you're that one, you can't force that ball late over the middle, especially in a run-pass option. Those are made to be as clean as possible. I know he's feeling very confident, so I don't mind the throw, but at the same time, you got to know when to pull that thing and when to chuck it. So I think that's a give read, especially with the box being clean.
2nd and 10. Walker in motion. Pigram pumps that way. Throws into the flat, and it's high and wide into the FIU bench.
Set up a bubble screen, a fake bubble screen there, pump on the bubble screen, even though they haven't run a bubble screen yet in this game. So don't love the call. I think you're getting a little too cute past the 25 here, in the 25 here, inside the 30 in the red zone. I think you're getting a little cute. Kind of getting Pigram out of rhythm with the back-to-back calls. But if I'm FIU, I'm gonna come after Pigram, but make sure that we have a spy on him, because he's gonna make a play with his legs here on 3rd and long.
Pigram has time over the middle. That was trouble for Lane all the way. He made the catch, but was dropped inside the 22-yard line. That sets up 4th down and a long 6, and a decision for Western Kentucky that's going to be a field goal.
Yeah, that drive came to a halt for me on second down. You know, if you have a bad play, you don't stay ahead of the chains on first and second down, it's hard to convert in this league with these defenses being as fast as they are. It's hard to do live on 3rd and 10 plus down and distances. So you got to stay ahead of the chains on first and second down, and they didn't do a good job. Did a good job early in the series, but stalled out here in the red zone when they got kind of too cute.
High snap, good hold by Haggerty, and Braden Narveson, redshirt sophomore transfer from Iowa State, knocks it through. Now 10 of 11 on the year. Back after this, 7-3 FIU. FIU got off to a hot start. Western Kentucky has managed to bounce back in front of a limited capacity, socially distanced crowd at Houchin-Smith Stadium in Bowling Green. 39-yard Braden Narveson field goal makes it 7-3. Panthers leading on the road with 10 and change to play until the half. Nate Gatter, Brandon Dowdy back with you. And it will be Corey Munson, last year's Western Kentucky place kicker, on for the kickoff duties. Kicked a 52-yard walk-off in the bowl game and was relegated to kickoffs this year. This is returnable from the goal line for Wilson. He has a seam to the 30. E.J. Wilson Jr. into Western Kentucky territory, and he will go. For the second time this year, the Panthers have a 100-yard kickoff return touchdown.
Wow. That's the way to kill momentum. That was a special play, got the exact look he wanted to. That's why he took it from 2 yards out. He said, I have the exact look I want, and takes back a kick. Talk about momentum and getting a stalling offense, allowing them to have some momentum. And now you're getting your offense that has to come right back on the field. Wow, what a play.
Western Kentucky hasn't had a kick return touchdown since 2016. FIU has had 2 in 5 games this year.
Wow.
And true freshman kicker Chase Gabriel on for his second extra point attempt. Bortenschlager the hold. And the kick is no good. So Gabriel misses an extra point for the first time this year. He had made all 11 before that, and that keeps the lead at 10. Mentioned FIU has had those running back injuries that have forced Devontae Price into such a big role. One of them was Deshaun Peterson Jr., who was essentially sharing lead back duties with him before the injury. The other was a broken wrist prior to last week's Shula Bowl to Flex Joseph, who's used a little bit less in the running game, but was the primary return man and was 6th in all of FBS in return average this year at the time of his injury. He had the 100-yard kick return against Liberty on the opening kick of the year for the Panthers, which must have been extra sweet waiting so long to start their season. And he took it back 100 yards in what was eventually an FIU loss. We were thinking that was going to be a big absence for them in kick returns, but E.J. Wilson Jr., the true freshman, on only the 4th touch of his career in the kick return game, only the 6th touch of the football period as a college player, goes 100 yards to the house.
Nate, that's like the most underrated coaching job in sports. When coaches talk about, it takes 3 levels, takes all 3 phases of the game, you kind of, as a fan or as a listener, even as a player, you're thinking, oh, special teams, yeah, whatever. But man, you can create so much hidden yardage, and as I've gotten older, I've become appreciative of special teams and what it does for a team and momentum-wise. But like you said, just schematically, great scheme by FIU. They just did a really good job of creating plays on special teams.
It's not as though he had to make a lot of guys miss. He had a seam there along the left hash, and I don't know that he was touched.
No.
So now the Western Kentucky offense is right back on the field. As there's ever any silver lining there, it's that the Hilltoppers did look like they established a good momentum, especially between the 25s on that last drive.
They did. They stalled out a little bit, got a little cute in the red zone, but we're going to see them try to be more aggressive, I think. Got to get Gage Walker. They've been more balanced than they've been lately, and I think that's a credit to Pigram getting into a lot of building his confidence with these short intermediate passes.
Pigram hands to Walker. He had to hesitate in the backfield again. It's a gain of only a yard. 8 carries, 23 yards. Make that Moses, Jakari Moses, with his first touch of the afternoon. We were wondering when we were going to see him, maybe just a function of the fact that Western Kentucky hadn't had any extended drives. This is the first time that Walker would want to blow, but that's the first snap for any running back other than Gage Walker today. Moses actually led the tops in carries last week. He had 12, Walker had 11. in the 10-7 win here over Southern Miss. Fake the pitch to Moses, wanted downfield, goes to the flat for Moses. That might have been a backwards pass in the end. It's a gain of 2 regardless. It's an interesting play call on 2nd and 9. Western Kentucky clearly not afraid to take some shots. That looked like 4 verticals there.
They did, another 4 vertical route, trying to set up from a pitch play, which I'm a big believer, and maybe I'm biased, and I had a phenomenal coaching schemes that I was with throughout my playing days, but I feel like the first 2 quarters, you need to set up those shot plays. It feels like a little bit forced here early on the Hilltoppers that they said, we're going to take shots no matter what the look is.
3rd and 7. Pegram to the flat again for Moses. He's going to have to do a lot of work here, and he can't do it. Profit the tackle after a gain of only a yard. So Western Kentucky goes forward on all 3 plays, but gets only 4 total yards, and will have to punt immediately.
Well, Pegram got out of rhythm. Momentum is shifting into FIU's territory right now. They're playing the game. The Hilltoppers are playing the game FIU wants you to play. They want you to get ahead behind the stick so they can get some pressure on the quarterback. They also want you to do a good job of making sure that you have to check the ball down, get to your 2nd read, get to your 3rd read. You've seen early in this game that Pegram has been just kind of, other than,
Watch out. That was close. Haggerty got it away, bounces in front of Singleton and out of bounds. So FIU was bailed out by the kick return touchdown. The offense had been sputtering. We'll see if Max Bortenschlager and the Panthers reestablish their momentum after this. FIU leads by 10 midway through the 2nd quarter in Bowling Green, and this is a big possession coming up for the Western Kentucky defense. After a kick return touchdown and a Hilltoppers 3 and out, the Panthers have an opportunity to build this lead considerably. Handoff goes to Price. Hilltoppers stack the box late, and he is bottled up momentarily. They whistled it dead. They said his forward progress was stopped, and that's a tough break for Devontae Price because he kept churning and had burst through the other side of that pile out near the 35.
Price is a good player, Nate. He does a good job of finishing these runs. I know I sound like a broken record, but he's just finishing downhill. He's just strong.
He gets it again on 2nd and 8. Bounces to the outside, and he's brought down around the ankles by Eli Brown, the linebacker, who has been fantastic for Western Kentucky today.
He has. They need more of him. You know, they're a little short-handed at the linebacker position. Eli's a senior. He's playing on senior day. He's got to step up. He's got to make plays when they present themselves. Not try to force it, but make plays when they present themselves. But honestly, Nate, I like the tempo that FIU played with. They're going to be aggressive. They're not playing like an 0-4 team right now. They're playing like a team that wants to come in here on the road and get a win.
3rd down and 6 from the 33.
Man coverage.
Bortenschlager, 4-man rush for Holloman again, and he dropped it. Knocked out by Deontay Ruffin. He was beaten for the Holloman touchdown, but the Western Kentucky senior corner gets his revenge on 3rd and 6.
Yeah, that's the same play they ran on the first play of the last drive, out route. And they got to make that play, three guys versus 1. But, you know, you want to be a big-time receiver, you got to make those big-time catches and big-time moments, man. I know you hear that a lot, but good play by the defense getting the Hilltoppers back. Maybe some momentum here after especially a shanked punt.
Shanked by Heatherly. I'm not sure he got that substantially onto Western Kentucky's side of the field. Going to be excellent field position for the Hilltoppers, getting it back down by 10. Tommy Heatherly's punt went only 22 yards, so Western Kentucky, after a 3 and out, gets the ball immediately back at its own 45-yard line with a chance to cut into a 10-point deficit, something, Brandon, I would think they urgently need to do before the half.
Definitely, absolutely. Need to find a rhythm here.
Tinsley in motion. Fake to Moses. Pegram downfield, and he short-hopped his intended receiver, true freshman Malachi Corley.
Yeah, and I'm kind of glad he did short-hop that because they had played a little bit of a spy coverage over there in the whole funnel rat player, essentially funnel rat, no matter what you say. He was all over that. Yeah, I think he would have picked that if that was an accurate ball. Oof, got away with one there.
2nd down and 10.
Man coverage.
Moses still in for his 2nd drive in a row at running back. Pegram under pressure, and he's brought down. First time he's been sacked today. Kane Taylor, the redshirt junior from Clearwater, gets home for FIU.
FIU fooled me. They went man coverage not so fast. Tampa 2. When Tampa 2, they had the right call, just the game got them. And Pigram has no chance there.
Taylor in his second year with FIU out of East Mississippi Community College, which of course rose to fame on the first couple of seasons of Last Chance U on Netflix. Nick Days on the other side for Western Kentucky's out of Independence, which was the second school featured on Last Chance U. 3rd and long, dumped off to Moses. Second third down in a row that Moses has been left to do something in the left flat, and hopefully everybody's okay. That was a scary collision, and there's an FIU defensive back who's down. Looks like he's moving around now. And it's Jason Walker, redshirt sophomore from Southwest Brevard County, who has appeared in every game this year for FIU, primarily in those situations as a nickel. And that was a scary collision with Moses. You see him coming up here on the left side. And that probably had a little bit of helmet-to-helmet to it as well. And you can see the concern for him from the FIU medical staff, and hopefully he's going to be all right. We'll take a break with 6:07 to go in the second quarter. FIU up 13-3 and getting it back. But the concern for the moment, all about Mr. Walker. Walker got up and made his way off to the sideline under his own power. Hopefully he's okay, but certainly seems to have avoided any of the worst-case scenarios. A scary collision on 3rd and long, sets up 4th down, and a John Haggerty punt for Western Kentucky. That's Rashard Dames who signals for the fair catch and takes it right around the 10-yard line, where FIU will set up looking to build on a 10-point lead in the final 6 minutes of the second quarter. And remember, the Panthers will receive the second half kickoff as well. So especially with a running back like Devontae Price, Brandon, I would think that their mindset is not only trying to get points here, but potentially take a lot of time off the clock going 90 yards and get themselves a really big lead with 2 possessions in a row.
I agree. I think you have to establish the run game. Don't let the clock rest at all. Let it keep rolling. Make the Hilltoppers call their timeouts. They're not built for speed, so you're gonna have to extend a long drive here and be able to be on top of that.
Price hit in the hole by Nick Days and driven back right at the line of scrimmage. Nick Days in for Kyle Bailey, who's out today, the veteran Western Kentucky linebacker, and this was a big hit on a good running back.
That's not a good way to start the series if you want to stay on 3rd and medium. Now, you, as a quarterback, young quarterbacks, make sure that you know, like I said earlier in the broadcast, minus 10 yards, your goal, minus 10-yard line, minus 10 and in. Your goal is just to get 1 first down, flip field position. And by doing that, you need to just get half here. Smart play by running ball.
Counter action left. Price is hit by Brown around the 14-yard line. It'll set up 3rd down and a long 6. That's already 12 carries for him in the first half.
3rd and 6 here. Expect man coverage. Expect some exotic blitzes here. If I'm a coordinator, I'm spreading everybody out, but I'm not Butch Jones. Butch Jones is going to have that hybrid tight end sitting in the backfield to pick up any junk. But if I'm a coordinator, I'm going to spread them all out, make you declare. That's what I want to do. That's kind of essentially what he's doing with 3-by-1, being able to get his quarterback, get a good look at what pressure's coming and what's not coming. Here they're dropping out.
Bortenschlager, Brown comes in the delayed blitz. He escapes momentarily, hits Price in the flat, but he's short of the first down and ridden down by the senior Antoine Kincaid to force an FIU punt.
Had a hugger there, so what that means is tight end stayed in to block, extra man becomes a blitzer. So what they did there did a good job of getting quarterback off his spot. If he stays in his spot, I think he's got guys open down the field, but he gets him off his spot just generically. Great job, no damage done, checking the ball down, punting the ball, ending every drive with a kick. You got to be able to do that against the Hilltopper teams that have not been done a good job of sustaining drives consistently. Make them drive the field, ball down the field. Good job by Bortenschlager of making a play and checking the ball down when he needed to.
Fair catch taken by Tinsley at the 35-yard line after Heatherly's punt. 58 yards.
Plenty of time here for the Hilltoppers. Got to get their quarterback back in rhythm. I've said it 1,000 times. Got to establish a run game. Got to make sure that they let him see clearly. He's a shorter guy. Maybe some passes outside of the hashes to kind of get him going a little bit. He's been he started off getting in a good rhythm. Now he's got to get back into that rhythm. Get him with some short passes. Maybe set up a little double move with some off the quick game. But you got plenty of time. You got your full arsenal here.
Pegram keeps it and hits Corley for a first down along the sideline. That's a true freshman out of Campbellsville, Kentucky. First catch of his career, gets out to the 49.
I've spent some time with him, and he's going to be a good player here for the Hilltoppers for the next 4 years. But great call here. Allow Pegram to move the pocket. Does a great job of throwing on the run. He's one of the better quarterbacks I've seen throwing on the run. Got to take advantage of that as an offense coordinator. Make sure that he has the ability to throw it or run it, because he's just got that athletic ability a lot of guys don't have.
Gage Walker back in on this drive. He'd been on the sidelines for the last two. Pegram keeps it again. And the same play, he hits Tinsley, who takes a big hit on the sideline, but back-to-back first downs for Western Kentucky on what looked like exactly the same play.
Yeah, same design. They've done that a couple times now. They've added different formations, run the same concept, 4-6 corner on the outside. Does a good job, one high zone coverage, getting a two ball. What I mean by two ball is not a driven ball. One ball is where you're going to drive it through somebody. A two ball, you want to put a little pace on there, but you also want to get it over a defender. Pegram, like I said, does a good job. Great job. One of the better throwing the ball on the run.
Final 3 minutes of the first half. First down, Western Kentucky to the outside, caught by Traynor, and he's dragged down from behind at the 30-yard line after a pickup of 8 to set up second down and short. The tackle made by Jamal Anderson.
Now it's time to tone in. As a quarterback, as an offensive lineman, as a receiver, as a skill position, the clock is quicker. Now you got to know, hey, we stumbled in the last time we were over here on this, the red zone or the hot zone we used to call it. If you're in the hot zone and you don't get points, you need touchdowns here. That's the difference between this Hilltopper team and what they've been. They need to get points here on this drive. It's a big drive for them moving into halftime.
Walker has room, bursts into the red zone. He's all the way down to the 12. Longest run of the day for Gage Walker, 18 yards. And Western Kentucky has first and 10 with 2 minutes to go.
One back power, do a good job of, Gage Walker does a good job being patient, but this is you're seeing the advantages of a good pass game. There's a lot more space in that front seven when you're throwing the ball. Linebackers get a little bit more depth with the threat of the pass. Also, Pegram does a good job of throwing on the run. He fakes like he's giving out. Maybe gets the eyes of these linebackers just for a split second, giving Gage Walker time to see the hole and read it.
Pegram to Corley in the flat. He's hit at the 10 and knocked out of bounds. 2 catches on this drive for the true freshman Malachi Corley, who's getting extended playing time today. This is a Western Kentucky receiving corps that has had tremendous turnover, lost a couple of important receivers, including Lucky Jackson, who went for 1,200 yards a year ago, then lost 2 more, Ja'Cour Pearson and Jaquez Sloan, early this season to transfers. Of the current receivers on the roster, only 2 combined catches all of last season for 22 yards, and only one of those catches, Xavier Lane, active today. Walker in the interior inside the 5, pushes near the goal line, and he has a first down and goal at the 2. And an FIU injury.
As you see, one back power one way, one back power the other way. Great job by Gage Walker finishing his block, or finishing his run.
Panther down in the end zone, and that's at the linebacking spot again. Dimitri Prophet looks less serious than the injury we saw in the opening play to Jamal Gates. One of 2 FIU starting linebackers. The other one, Tyson Maeva, the transfer from Boise State, didn't even make the trip after he picked up an injury in the first quarter last Friday in the Shula Bowl, which the Panthers lost to FAU. And now they're in danger of losing another linebacker with first and goal coming up for Western Kentucky from the 2-yard line with 1:25 to go. And an especially big moment considering that FIU will get the ball to start the second half. Not only do the Hilltoppers want to convert this into points, but they'll feel rather strongly they need to finish this drive with a touchdown, something they've struggled to do in the red zone this year.
They have. I guess the glass is half full for FIU. That looks like a little cramp. He should be back one play, be back in. get them some electrolytes and get them back in there, but they're going to need them. They're going to need to make a stop here on first down to try to make sure that they get them out of the end zone. But like you said, the Hilltoppers have struggled down here, really, really struggled. We saw it earlier in the hot zone, 30 yards in, call it the hot zone, but they struggled with it on the first time they were in here, and now they just got to make sure that they get 7, not 3. Don't get cute. Just give it to Gage Walker. Let him do the work here. FIU knows you're going to do it. Let maybe a quick count. Let your offensive lineman get the advantage of a snap of the ball, but just give it to Gage Walker and let him do the work for you here.
Pigram goes under center for the first time today. Walker hit at the line of scrimmage, falls forward for a yard. Tackled by Daniel Jackson, the senior from Apex, North Carolina. And the clock turns under 1:15 with 2nd and goal upcoming. Interesting that FIU wouldn't consider using a timeout.
Agreed. I don't like the one-back power on first down. I'm sorry, I like the set. I like you thinking about giving the ball to Gage Walker, but just run a zone. Let your linemen get off the snap as fast as they can. When you run a power, you gotta get pullers.
Simon in motion, 2nd and goal from the 1.
Coverage.
Play action, Pigram follows Walker, and he's in for the touchdown. 2nd rushing touchdown of the year for Tyrell Pigram, and Western Kentucky pulls back within a possession.
Much needed touchdown from the Hilltoppers. Good execution on that play. Great eyes, great misdirection, coming back the other way. Got a puller left, run right. Great job by Pigram being patient, find the hole, get the Hilltoppers back in this game.
Tyrell Pigram has -3 rushing yards for the day, but he'll take the 1-yard touchdown. And Braden Narveson can bring Western Kentucky within 3. Extra point is up, and it is good. He has hit all 16 now on the season. Only 43 seconds to go. In the end, it worked out for the Hilltoppers. They didn't get in on that first possession. We'll see if FIU, with 3 timeouts, wants to try to do anything with his final possession before the half, now leading 13-10. And it might very well depend on the return, obviously, considering the last time that we saw E.J. Wilson Jr. out there, Brandon, for a return. He took that 100 yards for a touchdown. I should correct myself, by the way. FIU would be down to 2 timeouts because they were charged by rule with a timeout for that injury to Profit. So FIU will be down to just 2 timeouts left. The scoreboard shows Western Kentucky with 2 left, and that's true not only on the score graphic you're seeing, but here in the stadium. But the referee announced that as a timeout taken by FIU. We've heard very little from Joe Laring, only 1 penalty in the first half of this game, and it was technically before the game even really started. It was on the opening kickoff. No time had even gone off the clock when Western Kentucky tried to call a fair catch after catching the opening kickoff, which is not allowed, and the ball was put back into 2. But just 1 flag has come out over the opening 29 minutes and change.
They could use a kickoff right here. That would be nice.
Rashard Dames is the deepest man. E.J. Wilson Jr., who had the touchdown on the last kick, is up a little bit toward the 5, and it's a squib kick instead. Wilson takes it from the 13 to the left side. He has a little seam again. He's hit and dropped by Corey Munson. The sophomore kicker puts him down to the 28, and watch out behind the play. There were some late fisticuffs, looked like one man from each team who were still going at it, and now Eli Brown is taking exception to something. Our referee Joe Laring looked like he might have been reaching for his flag. Instead, I think he had just left his beanbag still on the field, but the referees managed to separate that with no flags. Interesting play all the way around. Looked like FIU had a lot more room on that return. Great tackle by Corey Munson. Even if he weren't a kicker, that'd be a good tackle.
You're not kidding. He's been in the drills or something. They put him in the rotation. That was a great tackle. I think if he doesn't make that tackle, he got 10, 15, maybe 20 more yards on that return.
So now we'll see what FIU chooses to do. 1st and 10 from the 28. Play action. Bortenschlager wants to go down the field. This is to Bryce Singleton. He has room. A couple of Hilltoppers ran into each other, and Singleton is into Western Kentucky territory and out of bounds with a gain of 24 on the first play of the drive.
FIU's playing not to lose this game. They're playing to win. They want to win this game. Great eyes, quarterback. See how his eyes go to the field, come back to the boundary. He knows he's got a winner, which means he's gonna win on that route. He's in one high coverage. You got a stop route. That's gonna win. That should win. And so those makes a good play, run after catch, accurate ball, run after catch. Now they're rolling.
Bordenschlager under pressure, and he's brought down. Big sack for Western Kentucky, and it's Ricky Barber, redshirt freshman from Louisville, who burst onto the scene with his first career multi-sack game last week against Southern Miss. He has his 4th sack of the year on this play.
What to do on one play, what not to do on the next play. Can't take a sack in a 2-minute drill, especially with only 2 timeouts and 49 seconds left in the game, or 24 seconds left in the half, especially you're trying to get points. Gotta make sure you stay ahead of the chains. I agree with it. I agree with throwing the ball. I agree 46 seconds or 49 seconds is an eternity in college football. In the NFL, that's a automatic give 100% of the time, just because that clock stops at first downs. So I like the aggressiveness to go. They're playing to win this game, FIU is. I'm very impressed with their offensive scheme so far, and Bordenschlager has done a good job of managing this thing, not turning the ball over, been very clean. I think that's why they got a 3-point lead in this game right now. But trying to get points here would be huge for momentum going into the half.
Again, the Panthers will get the ball to start the second half, so they're just looking for a bonus here. Have a true freshman kicker in Chase Gabriel. Remember, he just missed the extra point after the 100-yard kick return touchdown for FIU earlier in the quarter. Gabriel's long of 41 came last week against FAU. 2nd and 17 for the Panthers from their own 46.
Interesting, didn't check the checker here.
Bordenschlager against a blitz, throws into it, but behind his intended receiver, Chris Mitchell.
Oh man, he gets an accurate ball. That might score. He's got one-on-one to the end zone. Hilltoppers bring a blitz. FAU guessed right on the blitz. They blocked it up, and Bordenschlager's got to make that throw, got to find a way. Young quarterbacks that throw into the blitz. Great job at Bordenschlager throwing into the blitz, but just got to be accurate. He's accurate. He catches that ball, and he goes for 6. He's one-on-one. I'll take an offensive. I'm an offensive-minded guy. He's not going to make that tackle in open space.
Price on 3rd and long to the sideline. He's out of bounds in Western Kentucky territory. Probably should have gone down inbounds there to force the Hilltoppers to use a timeout. 16 seconds to go, and FIU will likely have to punt this away unless the Panthers are thinking about going for it. But they will punt after a moment's hesitation. Interesting, we didn't see any of J.J. Holloman on that possession. He was not on the field. Panthers went a little deeper on their wide receiver depth chart. He was over on the sideline, run along the coaches, helmet on, so he looked to be healthy and available. And he certainly had been the featured target for the Panthers early on in this game. Punt is nearly blocked by Barber, who had the sack earlier. It lands inside the 10, checks beautifully, and FIU downs it at the 6-yard line. So I would think, with only 6 seconds left, this will be a pretty simple decision for Tyson Helton. Western Kentucky will take the knee and take us into halftime, but never know, maybe he's got a fake kneel down in the playbook somewhere.
Who knows? Heatherly with a not so fast, totally redeem yourself moment after that shank punt the last time up. Pins one at the 11. Great punt there. Great time to get the hidden yardage. FIU's winning this game. And we called it in the opener that possession is going to win this game. Hidden yardage is another big factor in this game, and it's reigned true. That's why they got a 3-point lead. Hidden yardage has been pretty dead even, but I would say favored more on the FIU side. We'll see how these two coaches go into half with this chess match to see if they change the game plan. I expect FIU to do a little bit more check with me with looking at doing a fake cadence and looking to the sideline and making sure they get in the right call, because they had a little success with that in that 2-minute drive. I think they figured something out at the end of that drive.
Western Kentucky was favored by about a touchdown in this game, but at the half, the visiting FIU Panthers lead it by 3, and they'll get the ball to start the second. FIU leads 13-10 over Western Kentucky at the half in Bowling Green, but even while we're talking about football, basketball season gets underway this week. Want to give you a chance to meet a couple of the newcomers, a pair of freshmen on the Western Kentucky roster this year. Let's meet Jenna Kalenberg, freshman for Western Kentucky women's basketball.
My name is Jenna Kallenberg. I am from Maryville, Tennessee, and I am a 5'10" freshman. I started playing basketball because my dad forced me, actually. I was a big soccer girl growing up. I loved playing soccer. I didn't want to play anything else. But my dad was a basketball coach when I was born, and I'd always been around the sport. So he basically told me, if you don't play basketball, then you're not allowed to play soccer anymore. So I started playing basketball when I was 3, and then after that I just fell in love with it. I've always been in like AP classes, and school's always been very hard, and it's always been like a stress reliever for me. It's always been a place where I can just leave all the outside stuff and just come in and just play. My high school team went to the region championship 2 years in a row. I'm a part of the 1,000 Point Club. I've been ranked top 10 in Tennessee all throughout high school and top 15 regionally all throughout high school. I picked Western because it feels like home. I come from a small town, so moving up to Bowling Green wasn't that big of a difference. Everyone's so nice and everyone is so welcoming. The coaches are super sweet. They do everything they need to do to make sure you're on track and you're straight. I want to go work in the FBI, so I know Western has the only criminology department in Kentucky, so academics is huge for me, so that was another factor in that. The first time I talked to Coach Collins, I was at an AAU tournament, and every other college coach that I've talked to, they've always been like, oh, you do this so well, you do this so well, but Coach Collins was the first one that was like, okay, we know you do this well, but we need you to do this. Like, if you're gonna play here, I need you to do this. And he actually told me what I needed to work on rather than just trying to like hype me up. So I really like that a lot. I really like when they just tell me straight up, and all of them have always been like that. They're just so easy to talk to, every single one of them. Cultivating a relationship with them was so easy, and they push us on the basketball court all the time, but after we cross the lines and everything's said and done, they're always there for us in the end. Fun fact about me is that I have 3,000 points on the Buffalo Wild Wings app. I get like 50 points for checking in, and then I'll get like 10 points per dollar. So like for 3,000 points, I can go in and like, let's say me and 3 of my teammates went to eat, I could buy everyone's meal. Hi, my name is Selma Kulo. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm a 6'4" freshman. The main reason why I started playing basketball was because I had a middle school coach who came up to me in the hallways and basically forced me to try out. And when I came to tryouts, I didn't even know what a layup was. So I started in 7th grade and worked my way up to college. The reason why I play basketball is because of my family. My sister grew up playing basketball, and I watched her play all throughout my childhood. And when I got the opportunity to play in middle school, I took that opportunity as quick as possible because I really wanted to make my family proud. My senior year in high school, I led my team to the Elite 8, and that was the first time in school history. I also was one of the best shot blockers at my school. I averaged, I believe it was 2.3 block shots a game. So the main reason why I chose Western Kentucky was because there is a large group of Bosnians here. My parents are from Bosnia. I also really enjoyed the coaching staff and the girls here. It felt like a family right away as soon as I came on my first visit, and I really enjoyed that, and that was mainly what I was looking for. What stuck out about the coaches here was that they really did care about you. Like, I feel like I'm one of Coach Collins' daughter, and I feel like each and every one of us are, and the coaches really care about you, not just about the court, but like in the classroom and off the court. My fun fact is that I'm a first-generation American. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia. My parents came as refugees in the 90s from Bosnia during the war. They worked really hard and basically built a life for me and my sister, and my #1 job right now is to make them proud.
FIU leads on the road 13-10 over favored Western Kentucky as we welcome you back to Houchin-Smith Stadium in Bowling Green at halftime. Nate Gatter, Brandon Dowdy along with you on this Saturday afternoon. Take a look back at how some of this first half went down. FIU add to the early lead. Western Kentucky was able to battle back, but really early on it was all Panthers.
Yeah, they did a good job of getting their quarterback in rhythm early in the game. took some shots like you see here. Ex-Georgia transfer coming in there and making a play on a 50-50 ball, but a quarterback giving him a chance to make a play. Another kickoff return. Really, if you really think about the broad spectrum of this game, without the kickoff return, Hilltoppers have a lead going into this game. So defense has done a really good job, but FIU's got to figure out how to ways to be a little bit more creative on offense. For the Hilltoppers, they got to find a way to sustain drives but finish drives. That's been the common theme that's been echoed throughout the room the past couple weeks. They've not done a good job in the red zone. If they want to win this game, it's going to be 25 yards to the end zone in the red zone, and not settling for 3 points. Got to get 7 when you're in there. You miss out on 4 points. That could be a difference in this game. And I'll be shocked if a missed extra point doesn't come back to haunt FIU, as we're in for a pretty good second half.
Panthers will receive the second half kickoff, leading 13-10 at the break in Bowling Green. FIU leads Western Kentucky 13-10 at the half, and the Panthers will receive the opening kickoff in the second half. That'll be still a couple of minutes away now here in Bowling Green. Nate Gatter, Brandon Dowdy back with you. That first half, FIU went out to the early lead, in large part thanks to Max Bordenschlager getting the start at quarterback. Richard, senior transfer from Maryland, from Fishers, Indiana, and he had a big early start. But Western Kentucky bounced back well in the second quarter, capped off a long touchdown drive. But Tyrell Pigram taking it in. And the Hilltoppers, you can see, end up with 9 first downs to FIU's 6, which of course is somewhat misleading in that the Panthers scored with a short field on their first possession. They only had to go 52 yards on that first play in order to score, or on that first drive in order to score, capped off by a 28-yard touchdown to J.J. Holloman. And then even in the total yards, you'll see a little bit of a misrepresentation, if you will, or those can be a little bit deceptive in that FIU has a 100-yard kick return touchdown hiding in there from true freshman E.J. Wilson Jr., and that, Brandon, played a huge role in that first half, as you pointed out.
It did, and if you really look at it on paper, it's been really even. It's been exactly what we've talked about, even game, and it's relative to what the score is right now. I mean, I know the Hilltoppers are a little bit slanted in all the statistics in this first half, but like you said, and like we said earlier in the broadcast, that kickoff return was huge, momentum-wise, and really getting the guys going. So we'll have to see here early in this third quarter. I think this is going to be the most pivotal point of this game so far. Early in the third quarter, which FIU team comes out? If it's a quarterback that's in rhythm, if it's the running back that's getting yards after the catch, finishing downhill, or is it the guys that get behind the line, behind the sticks? And that'll be the difference in this game, essentially, in this second half.
It seems like both teams will be pretty happy with how they're throwing the ball. These are two of the worst passing teams in the country so far this year. Passing efficiency, yards per attempt, bottom 10 in the country. FIU had the second fewest passing yards of anyone in FBS, having played at least 4 games, but both teams have been significantly better. Here's a low kick, so Western Kentucky has decided that E.J. Wilson Jr. is not going to beat him. It's Richard Dames, and he's hit back at the 16-yard line and spun to the ground by Demetrius Kane. So the ground ball kickoff strategy looks like it might be paying early dividends for Tyson Helton and the Hilltoppers. We didn't realize when we saw a squib at the end of the first half that we were seeing a philosophical transition in how the Hilltoppers were going to handle the rest of this game.
I think it's smart. I mean, give them a good look. They haven't really been able to do anything offensively, sustaining drives. They've had one drive where they've really taken advantage of what the defense gave them, but let their offense, like you said, that struggles in the pass game, beat you, and I think that's important. Man coverage here.
Bordenschlager started well. Here's Price. Western Kentucky kept him under control reasonably well, but he bounces this to the outside. He's across the 25, has a first down on a gain of 10.
Outside zone, good job. I like the little, the eyes. They got a jet sweep going the opposite way just to collect eyes. They do try to pass it off as the corner. Kincaid passes, or Cray passes it off and run on the outside side. They got numbers. That's why they get a good game.
Price out to the 30, had to sort of pick his way there to the 31, a gain of 5. That's 15 carries already for him today for 68 yards. He had a career day in this stadium a couple of years ago. in an FIU victory in 2018. He went 14 carries, 119 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. You see how efficient he's been this year, among the best in the country. He only just broke those career highs last week when he became the feature back against FAU. He's hit in the backfield here by who else? Eli Brown, Western Kentucky's best defender in the first half, picks up where he left off, a loss of a yard.
Big play, shoots the gap really well, sniffs out the run from the get-go. I thought the Hilltoppers are ready for play action. Now they're expecting pass on third down. I thought second down was a chance for them to do a little FIU to do a little play action, take advantage of the linebackers sucking up with the big gains on both 2 first down plays back to back. Man coverage.
3rd down and 6. Kortenschlager goes toward his trips, has Singleton open. It's off his hands and incomplete. A break for Western Kentucky, and the Hilltoppers will get it right back, down by 3.
That it is. There was they ran a little pick play outside, got the guy picked they wanted to pick, and just got to make a catch. That's all you got to do. Accurate ball, run after catch, like I say.
Singleton, the redshirt junior from Hilton Head, South Carolina, could not hold on to that one. And it brings out Tommy Heatherly, senior punter. Had a couple of good connections in the first half.
Nate, where is Holloman at? I haven't seen him since the first couple drives, man. The guy was playing well, and he hasn't been targeted here in the past 2-3 drives.
Tinsley bottled up immediately and slammed to the ground by the on-rushing Daniel Jackson. If anything, Jackson was blocked in the back by Matthew Smith on kick coverage for Western Kentucky, and that just propelled him even harder into Tinsley.
Ooh.
So no return for Tinsley, needless to say. 1st and 10 for Western Kentucky from its own 30.
Zone coverage.
Simon in motion. Handoff Walker. And he takes a tackler with him for a gain of 4, out close to the 35. Call it 2nd down and 6. Walker had 10 carries for 49 yards in the first half. He had a career-high 27 carries against the Panthers last year for an even 100 yards and a touchdown.
He's been pretty efficient today, taking what they give him. It almost feels like he's right on the brink of breaking a big one. I mean, they've set it up. It looks like he's seeing the holes real well, and I think he's primed for an explosive.
Tries the left side, gain of a couple to the 36, and it sets up 3rd down and 4. And these 3rd down and mediums have been giving Western Kentucky trouble, Brandon, mostly because of the play calls.
Yeah, play calls have been struggling here. They've been guessing wrong, and what I mean by guessing wrong is, pass game concepts on 3rd and down. You're expecting 3rd and medium. You're expecting man coverage. Well, FIU has not given you man coverage in the first half. I'm interested to see if they change it up. Looks like they will here and give you a little man on 3rd down. Maybe allow those crossing routes to beat you.
To the flat, Walker off his hands, incomplete. He was hit by Jackson, and Western Kentucky will have to punt.
That right there is a product of the zone coverage that they ran in the first half on 2nd and medium. Pigram thinks that, Walker's my first read. He's outflanking the defense. Not so fast. He's in man coverage. You got to make sure you use him. Keep your eyes on your first read, knowing that your second read's going to pop open, which is a crosser coming right in your face. Hit that, get a first down, move the chains. But that is just a product of the chess game being played here by these coordinators from the first half to the second half.
Big punt by Haggerty. Devin Key lets it roll all the way down inside the 2, and it's down at the 1-yard line. John Haggerty punts for 63 yards, no return. FIU will have the whole field to go. Wasn't communicated down to the field that we had a timeout. FIU went ahead and decided to start the drive from its own 1-yard line, and Devontae Price carried for 10 yards. Second drive in a row, the Panthers have started with a 10-yard Price carry, and it'll be 1st and 10 now for the Panthers from their own 11.
The hidden yardage battle is being won by FIU. I know it doesn't sound like a big thing right now, but 1 first down is the goal when you're inside your 5. and they just got that on the first drive. They're just ahead of the chains to be able to take a little shot here.
Bortenschlager escapes. He doesn't have anything downfield and eventually throws it away under pressure from Kane. That was an excellent escape, though, by the fifth-year senior.
Yeah, it was. Great job of trying to extend the play. The receivers need to help him out a little bit. Come back to the ball. 2 receivers down here gave up on the play when he started rolling out. Those are opportunities as an offense to create big plays without being perfect and scheming somebody up. When you extend the play like that, that should, as a quarterback or as a wide receiver, as a playmaker on this field, you got to understand, man, I can make a big play with maybe just the timing of it becoming explosive.
Hand off to Price on second down. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and brought down by Roger Cray for no gain. That's a corner coming up and sticking his helmet in the run game. And Cray can do that, senior from Lake City, Florida, who last year was number 46 in the country on Bruce Feldman's college football freaks list. He's 5'9", 170 pounds. He can bench 315, and he has a 41-inch vertical.
Holy moly.
So he can do a little bit of everything.
He's going to crush it on the pro day.
3rd down and 10. FIU has struggled in 3rd and long today. Bortenschlager has time to step up. Brown coming. Singleton makes the catch. He had a 3rd down drop on the last drive to end FIU's possession. He hauls this one in front of Devin Key for a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
Lazy defense there. It's cover 2. Flats, that should never happen. Flats need to be covered up. There's a bust by Cray, the freak show Cray. Got to be more disciplined than I know. He's got no threat to the flat, but you have to know where you are and where the sticks are as a defender and understand concepts. I mean, you got no flat control. I understand that, so you should be getting depth, not getting beat over top.
Brown into the backfield, and he slings Price down. 2nd tackle for loss today for Eli Brown. He has 7.5 now for the season.
Eli Brown has played a phenomenal game. You know, it's with Kyle Bailey out, I mean, he has really stepped up in this game and really made an impact and really taken on multiple linebacker roles just in the way he's affected this game and caused problems for this FIU offensive line.
Sets up 2nd down and 12.
Now as quarterbacks, we got to get half.
Play fake to Price. Bortenschlager keeps it on a design run. He lost the football. Cray has it, and Roger Cray gives Western Kentucky the lead.
Big play.
Wow. Clayton White, the Hilltoppers defensive coordinator, said the one thing he wanted more of from his defense was takeaways. Well, how you like that? Scoring on defense, the Hilltoppers up by 3.
Wow. Well, that's the risk you take by having a guy that doesn't run the ball very well run the ball for you. He puts his head down. Villangelo Malone does a good job of sticking the quarterback and ripping that ball out and give the Hilltoppers the lead here early in this 3rd quarter.
Only the 6th carry of the year for Bortenschlager, and he just ran into a legitimate NFL prospect, and it ended the way you would have thought it would end.
Exactly.
Narveson out for the extra point. Converted one earlier, now has hit all 16 on the year. Haggerty the hold, and Narveson knocks it through. So Western Kentucky scores on defense. FIU had the kick return TD. Western Kentucky has the scoop and score. 17-13 tops. Scoop and score for Roger Cray from 19 yards out after the fumble by Max Bortenschlager. We have 4 touchdowns in this game. Only 2 of them have been scored by the offenses. FIU had a 100-yard kick return touchdown in the 2nd quarter. Western Kentucky has the defensive touchdown now in the 3rd, and Corey Munson will kick it right back to the Panthers, who now find themselves behind. Western Kentucky has scored back-to-back touchdowns, a 14-0 run for the Tops. Another ground ball kick from Munson. This goes through everybody. Picked up by Dames back at the 5. He's in trouble at the 10 and slammed to the ground. Not quite. He was slammed, but they didn't get him on the ground until around the 17. After contact, he ended up stumbling backward for about 5 yards, and that'll probably get him fired up. It's gotten a little bit chippy since the 2nd quarter.
Momentum is shifting here, Nate. It starts with special teams. They've had 2 big special teams plays in a row. Defensive touchdown on the fumble. FIU's got to find a way to get back in rhythm, get their quarterback back in rhythm, get their running back in rhythm, get their line firing off the ball. I wouldn't be surprised they go a little tempo here just to get a little change of pace. It seems like the Hilltoppers are kind of teeing off right now. Cannot afford negative plays right now. Got to make sure you stay ahead of the chains here. It's vitally important, especially with the momentum shifting like it is right now.
Ortenschlager back in there after his fumble in the last possession. Price behind him. Wilson in motion. Ortenschlager keeps it. Throws over the middle. It's intercepted. Eli Brown. Back-to-back defensive touchdowns for Western Kentucky. Gray scoops in scores. Brown picks in sixes. And Western Kentucky leads by double digits.
Oh, my. Young quarterbacks do not throw late over the middle. It's the #1 rule in football. Rolling right, throwing left. I know it looks cool. Patrick Mahomes and all those guys are doing it now, but that's why you don't. Got a great play by Brown. Like we've said that he has had a career game today. He's played phenomenal. I mean, he's been sniffed out all over the place, but this place has got a new energy thanks to the defense going on right now.
Narveson on for another extra point. He must feel like it's practice. Jogging back onto the field, only one play in between. Back-to-back FIU snaps result in Western Kentucky touchdowns. The Hilltoppers have run off 21 unanswered points in the last 8 minutes of game clock, and they lead it 24-13 early in the third. This game has been completely turned on its head.
Wow.
So Brandon now, as Max Ortenschlager. The fumble, I would imagine, is easier to get past in some ways. Those are going to happen. It also feels like less of a quarterback mistake. Throwing back across his body for a pick six feels very much like a quarterback mistake and the kind of thing that a fifth-year senior would obviously like to avoid. How could he possibly regroup after that sequence of 2 plays?
Yeah, he's just got to take it one play at a time. I know it sounds good, but just take it one play at a time. You got to figure out how to say, hey, how can I make this play the best I can possibly make? You're down by 11. There's still ample time. You have pretty much an entire half to get 11 points back shift. So in saying that, there's no play that you can draw up that's going to be an 11-point play. So you got to make sure that you take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves. When the shots there, make the play. Receivers got to make the catch. Just got to do it one play at a time and make sure that you're just staying ahead of the chains and doing all you can to make that play the best play. Maybe it's a throwaway, or maybe it's a...
Dames is planted. Noah Whittington comes in for the big hit. And this new Western Kentucky kickoff strategy certainly has paid dividends. So credit to Tyson Helton and the rest of that coaching staff for Western Kentucky, especially Andy LaRusso, the special teams coach, for making that adjustment. And after the 100-yard kickoff return touchdown, there's been very little for FIU in the return game, or for that matter, offensively.
I agree. They got to find a way to get maybe some trickery here, maybe something to get the momentum back on your side. They could really use a big play, but they don't need to. I think you really have to get Holloman involved again. He was involved early, and you were having success.
Here's Price. He was hit initially and kept moving across the 30, where Devin Key eventually comes in to help on the stop after a gain of 4. Holloman had a big first quarter and caught FIU's long touchdown pass, and then was notably absent in the second. He is back on the field on this possession, and he was the last couple of plays, but he has not been targeted since the early going. He's all the way to the top of your screen out to the right against Deontay Ruffin, Western Kentucky's best cover corner. Price goes to the left. There's not a lot there. He was hit around the line of scrimmage. In fairness to him, he has been able to finish so well. He still got another couple of yards after contact. Jeremy Darvin was the first one to hit him, and it sets up 3rd and 4.
Biggest third down of the game right here for FIU. Can't get off you got to go for it. You got to go in on it. They're going to expect man coverage, react to zone. That's what you got to do. That should be your philosophy as a quarterback, saying, hey, listen, I got to find a way. If it's with my legs, if it's with my arm, I got to find a way to get this first down and get a momentum going. You cannot give the ball back to the Hilltoppers right here.
Ortenschlager to throw. Well protected, nobody open, pressure coming, and he has to throw it away in the general direction of Singleton. and more pushing and shoving. Anytime anybody goes into the sideline, our officials have been very quick to get over there. This game has gotten much chippier in the last quarter and a half or so, but a 3 and out is exactly what FIU didn't need.
Well, what the Hilltoppers were doing in their third down schemes, where they were guessing wrong, like I said, and on that play, they ran a little pick play that it was actually the exact same pick play, the exact same one that Jefferson dropped on that last drive, the 2 drives before. He dropped it, and he was wide open, but the Hilltoppers and Clayton White said, not so fast. We're going to look like man, drop into zone, and cover you up.
Fair catch by Tinsley. Western Kentucky gets it back. The offense hasn't had to do much, up by 11. So far in the second half, Western Kentucky has 6 yards of total offense and 14 points. A 19-yard scoop and score by Roger Cray, 15-yard pick 6 by Eli Brown, and now the Hilltoppers get their first possession after FIU had essentially 3 in a row. Handoff to Walker, and he's out to the 14. And second down and 6.
This is a big drive for the Hilltoppers. They have not been able to solidify and put away games. They've always just kind of kept teams around, and in the third and fourth quarter, it's come back to bite them in the butt, and they've blown some leads because of it. So they got to, as an offensive staff, they got to stay aggressive. They can't just sit on this lead. They got to take their shots when they present themselves and still be able to be effective throwing the ball.
Moses, gain of a yard, maybe a little bit more. Sets up third down and a long 4. And it does seem like Western Kentucky has been content for the most part to run on first down, run on second down, and try to handle these third down and mediums, but they have not had a lot of success with them.
They have not. They have not done a good job scheming for third down. They're 1 for 8 today. I would say about half of them have been manageable. I'd say the other half are long distances, and that's just tough. But they got to do a better job of guessing. I think they got to check with me a little bit more. Look back at the coach and see what they got and get them in the best play possible for success.
And a flag comes out. This is the first flag since the opening kick of the game.
Well, we just went from manageable to not manageable just like that.
False start called on Cole Spencer, the redshirt junior left tackle from Louisville. Western Kentucky is rarely penalized, called for just over 4 per game, 8th fewest in FBS, and that's been a theme. Last year, the Hilltoppers were one of the least penalized teams in the country as well. Just the second time they've been called today. FIU has not been penalized yet. That's intended for Corley and knocked away by Dames. Corley wanted an interference flag. Looked like there might have been a little tug on his left shoulder pad. Popped the jersey up a bit, but it's incomplete, no flag, and Western Kentucky will punt.
Yeah, well, I've said it all game. It's a common theme. I'm saying the same. I feel like a tape recorder. I'm saying the same thing over and over again. But they guessed wrong again. They thought zone coverage. I thought Tampa 2 to start. They ran 2-man. Yeah, double snag or double stop is not going to be good against 2-man because the DBs are going to have help over top, so they're going to be in trail technique. And so when they come up to stop on those routes, the DB's there. That's exactly what happened on that play. You got to go inside out. That's why quarterbacks got to go inside out on those drives. But FIU's got to get something going here if they want to get back in this game right now.
Another great punt by John Haggerty, who has had his A game today. Asked Coach Helton this week, aside from D'Angelo Malone, who does he think could have an NFL future on this team? And he said, you know, Haggerty hasn't had his best season this year, but that he has an NFL caliber leg, and he's certainly shown us that today. 55-yard punt, no return.
I think it will be interesting to see how the dynamics of the NFL draft come this year with this kind of free year and this free agency deal coming up. Essentially with this free, can transfer anywhere you want to go year. It'll be interesting to see these two teams, how they play the offseason and how they build and better themselves moving forward in the little free agency pool that they got because of the COVID.
Devontae Price stopped by guess who? Eli Brown. A couple tackles for loss today. And then he had the pick 6 2 possessions ago for FIU, the second of back-to-back plays for the Panthers that ended in Western Kentucky touchdowns to deliver the Hilltoppers this 11-point lead.
with the way things have gone this season for FIU, playing multiple quarterbacks, I'm shocked they didn't give Norton a chance here. I thought he would been able to maybe give him a little spark that they need, but I tell you, give him one more series, doesn't get the job done, you put the young guy in there and see what happens.
Bortenschlager wants to go downfield. Deep ball to Mitchell. Single coverage knocked away by Roger Cray. Cray had the first defensive touchdown for Western Kentucky, and he gets the pass break up on the deep ball here.
Good play, good eyes. Wait, that's young DBs. That's a great job of avoiding a pass interference by just locating the ball. That's all you got to do is locate the ball. If you locate the ball, 90% of the time you're not going to get penalized for a pass interference. You get penalized if your back. I think if his back is to that ball, he gets penalized for a pass interference and a cheap first down for FIU. Big third down here.
3rd and 7 for the Panthers from their 37.
They got cover 0. They're coming.
Bortenschlager against the blitz, steps up in space, throws over the middle, caught by Fairweather, and he's loose. A flag is down to the line of scrimmage, but for the moment, Fairweather has gone all the way in.
Wow, what a throw.
63-yard touchdown for Rivaldo Fairweather. Bortenschlager was down. The umpire threw the flag, and it looked like it might have been for targeting based on the reaction of the two Lions. Let's hear from our referee, Joe Laring.
What a throw by Bortenschlager.
Wow. That's a big call and a big break for Western Kentucky on a great throw and a great catch. Let's get a second look, see if we can spot it on the interior. Does look like a hold there, and then a big hit by Eli Brown. You can see the timing of the flag. Thought that's what it was for, but instead a 63-yard Fairweather touchdown is coming back.
Wow, what a break by the Hilltoppers there. What a throw by Bortenschlager, getting up and playing tough. That's what your teammates want to see. You want to gain respect to your teammates as a young quarterback, as a fifth-year senior guy coming in here and playing. You want to gain respect. You take shots like that. You bounce back up, and you make plays. And that's what he's going to have to do here on the very third down. But he's got to be protected with this ball.
Has time, now hit, floats it to Price in the flat, hit by Cray and pulled down. Roger Cray breaks it up on 2nd down, and after the penalty, brings Price to the ground on 3rd down. Western Kentucky will get it back.
Great job getting him off his spot. Hilltoppers get him off his spot, make him check the ball down. That's a win for the Hilltoppers, but a break nonetheless. Off a great throw, great concept, and they took a risk and paid for the risk on a cover 0 ball, so no help over top.
Punt, again pressured. It's a good one, takes Tinsley back inside the 20, and he calls for a fair catch right around the 18-yard line. In general, Heatherly has been taking his time, but he has been able to get rid of some good punts. By the way, over on the FIU sideline, we just saw Max Bortenschlager go into the medical tent. He was a little bit shaken up after that hit, it looked like. He had taken off his helmet and was coming over to the sideline. Then the FIU coaches were waving him down toward the end zone because before the penalty was announced, they thought they were going to go for 2 and try to make it a 3-point game. In the end, he stayed in for 3rd down, but he is in the medical tent now. So we'll keep an eye on that. And, of course, FIU has Stone Norton, who has seen significant time for them. 1st and 10 for Western Kentucky from its own 18-yard line.
Man coverage.
Pegram, clean pocket. Over the middle, caught by Simon, tries to break a tackle, and he pulls at least one defender to the 28 for a 1st down.
Great job by Pegram with his eyes. He's able to dictate defenders with his eyes. Had a little bust on the inside guy. He rolled up in man coverage, let his man go by. I think he thought a funnel player was going to pick up the drive. They didn't get that. They got a little natural pick. Pegram does a good job getting off number 1, number 2, hit number 3 on the run.
And despite the fact that Western Kentucky has 14 points already in this 3rd quarter, that was the first down for the Hilltoppers since halftime. Pair of defensive touchdowns to come from down 3 to up 11 early in the 3rd quarter. Pegram to throw again on 1st down. Has time again toward Trainer, but it's high. And into the FIU sideline incomplete.
Tried a little double move there. Little roll out right, double move from the inside guy. We used to call that dancer when I played. I'm not sure if coach still calls that, but we called that W dancer. And little fake comeback, not so fast, throwing it up. I thought it was a good call just because they've had success running those sail routes, those little 10-yard outs, throwing those. Kind of a play off of that a little bit, but not the greatest double move route. Got to give your eyes. If you're a young receiver running a double move, you got to give eyes to the top of that route. If you don't give eyes to the top of the route, you might as well just can it.
Under pressure, Pigram hit by the blitz and sacked. Second time FIU has gotten home today. And the Panthers force Western Kentucky into a 3rd down and very long.
You take a risk like that on first down I'm talking about. Take a risk on a double move on first down. That's the risk you take. It's kind of like a momentum killer when you don't hit it. You expect on paper, man, this looks great. When you don't hit it, you see the effects. Now they're kind of a little bit off rhythm here a little bit. Now they got to run it or throw a screen.
Pigram hands off to Walker, has room up the middle across the 35 before he's eventually planted at the 32-yard line. Helmet came off for FIU, so they're going to stop the clock, but it'll be 4th down for Western Kentucky to punt coming.
Kind of feel the momentum a little bit here. That sack excited the FIU sideline a little bit. May have a changing quarterback to get him a little bit more momentum because Laugenschlager's still in the medical tent. Norton's been just warming up for the past 15 minutes here. And we might have a little bit of change of momentum here. It looks like the guys are rallying behind him.
Haggerty, another big punt. This takes Dames back to the 11. He has a little more room, slips a tackle to the 20, still going across the 30, and he's out close to the Western Kentucky 35-yard line. So FIU has had very little offensively in the 3rd quarter, but the Panthers will have a new quarterback in good field position when we get back. FIU has made a change at quarterback. Max Bortenschlager is out of the medical tent and back on the Panthers sideline with his helmet, but Stowe Norton, the redshirt freshman from Nashville, is in to replace him. He started last Friday in the Shula Bowl against FIU, went 7 for 12 for just 43 yards before Bortenschlager replaced him. 1st and 10 for the Panthers from their own 35. Sweep goes to Wilson. He's hit in the backfield, manages to get positive yardage before he's slung down by Trey Meadows, senior defensive back for the Hilltoppers, who has been quiet. It's a gain of 2.
Yeah, Norton's a ex-Tennessee Football Player of the Year, Mr. Tennessee. Did a good job in his high school days. I think he threw for almost 90 touchdowns in high school. Wow. I wish I would have thrown for 90 touchdowns in high school.
Out of Davidson Academy in Nashville, chose FIU over Temple and Akron, among others. He was coached at Davidson by former Middle Tennessee and NFL quarterback Jonathan Quinn. Hand off to Price, up the middle, shakes a tackle from Brown, still going, pulling Antoine Kincaid to midfield. Another big-time run by Devontae Price for a gain of 13.
You ain't gonna arm tackle this kid. I mean, he is following and fiercely getting yards after catch. It's like his mode is like, I'm going to get yards after the contact no matter what. And so he's done a good job of finishing plays. I know I said it 1,000 times, but it seems like a little bit he's getting stronger as this game gets a little bit tighter, from a momentum standpoint.
Even on a team that has so struggled to throw the football, he's running nearly 8 yards a carry this year. Norton off play action, wants to go deep for Holloman. Single coverage, jump ball incomplete, but a flag comes out on Dominique Bradshaw. 15 yards and a 1st down coming for FIU.
Ooh, I don't know about that one, but I like the thought process. Same play, actually the same play that Bortenschlager threw that was a little bit out in front, or a little bit behind.
Pass interference, defense, number 9. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
He's got him beat. All he's got to do is take 1 hitch instead of 2. Take 1 hitch, fire that thing out. If you run a post route, young quarterbacks, and you have the middle of the field open, nobody there, you have all that room to throw that ball. Don't throw it up the field. Throw it across the field, give it some air, give your guy a chance to throw the ball. Norton needs to make that throw and make this a 1-possession game. He could have done that right there, he just didn't.
Only about 20% capacity here at Houchin Smith Stadium, but they made themselves heard.
They didn't like that one.
Only the fourth penalty called against either team in this game. 3 against the Hilltoppers for 34 yards. 1 for 10 against FIU, but it was the big hold on the last drive that wiped out a would-be 63-yard touchdown. Here's Price on first down. Again, it takes 3 Hilltoppers to bring him to the ground after a pickup of 3.
Now you're in the hot zone. You're approaching hot zone here. 30-yard line at 25 is the hot zone for me. That's where you got to expect pressure from a defense. You got to expect them to fire you up. Young quarterback. If I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm giving this kid a screen here. He hasn't seen the ball been completed yet. He's just thrown a prayer ball to start that worked out for him. But he's got a little screen, something in the backfield to get him going a little bit.
Here's E.J. Wilson Jr., another jet sweep the other way, but Meadows and Kincaid playing him in the backfield. Maybe one too many jet sweeps to E.J. Wilson Jr., and that might be the last play of the third quarter, and the Panthers go in reverse.
Last play of the third quarter and last jet sweep I would predict for the game.
That will take us to the end of the third quarter. 3rd down and 8 coming up for FIU from the Western Kentucky 33-yard line. Perhaps 4-down territory, certainly a critical play coming up. Roger Cray, the scoop and score. Eli Brown, the pick 6. Western Kentucky, 2 defensive touchdowns to take the lead in the third quarter. Big play coming up for FIU to start the fourth quarter, down by 11. And the Panthers have 3rd down and 8 from the Western Kentucky 33.
Just got to get half, quarterback.
Stone Norton, the redshirt freshman, on his first possession, throws low for Holloman, and it's incomplete. He thought he went down to get it. The Western Kentucky bench said incomplete, and the official on the far side agreed to set up 4th down and 8, and FIU will go for it.
That's a big completion. Quarterback just got a little bit ahead of himself. His stride was just a little bit long. That's a product of just not being out there in the rhythm yet, just because you have just thrown a prayer ball and you haven't really seen a completion yet. So big play here. Got to scheme him up here. You got to get a guy open. You can't just have him make a contested throw, in my opinion.
Singleton in motion. Holloman to the top of the screen. Norton steps up. Has time. He lost the ball. And he's sacked by Nick Days. Norton cocked his arm, the ball came out, and Western Kentucky takes over on downs after the sack by Days.
As soon as he lost it, he had a guy open too. He was going to give him, he had him. He just cocked back. Number 2 is coming back to the ball. He could have had him for a first down. Yeah, wasn't meant to be.
One of the knocks on Stone Norton this year has been how many sacks he's taken. That's not a conventional one, but a crucial missed play for FIU. And especially painful not to even put the ball in the air on 4th down and 8.
Agreed. And now on the contrary, Hilltoppers switching focus. They got to put this thing away. Find a way to put it away, offense. I know you've been stumbling a little bit, but just got to sustain one drive.
Walker to the outside, turns the corner. Across midfield, still going. Gage Walker to the 20. He stays in bounds, and he will score. Or not. Scoreboard says touchdown. The official trailing the play said he stepped out of the 5.
Great run, great blocking, great perimeter blocking. Spring that play loose for an explosive.
Western Kentucky ran the kicking team on the field initially. They had to switch everybody, get the offense back on the field.
Now you can't get cute. A little trickery here, something coming your way. Something tricky coming up.
And now the play is blown dead. I was thinking they might want to take a look at this, but instead it's FIU calling a timeout the first of the half. I wonder if we can get another look at that Walker carry in the end for 54 yards. It looked like he might be stopped around the 35. It looked like he would definitely be stopped at the 20. Somehow he got past everybody and stayed in bounds at least as far as the 5.
Great perimeter blocking out there, man. That's
looked like he could have gone out of bounds there. And then he was trying to tightrope the sideline, and our official trailing the play did immediately call him out right there as he had to juke around the would-be tackle of Benny McCray, FIU defensive back. But after all the work he did tightroping the sideline, a shame for him that he ended up stepping out right down to the 5 after he had finally gotten by everybody.
Yeah, Hilltoppers here, they can't settle for 3. They gotta get it. They gotta get the ball in the end zone here. It's a tough break. Walker, I'd feed him again. I wouldn't run that trickery like they were gonna be, but
get another look from this angle. McCray just got enough of him, and he does look there like that foot hits the white. That's a great shot by our crew.
Good call.
And good effort by McCray, to his credit as well. Pegram high snap, handoff Walker up the middle, down around the 1-yard line. But especially against Western Kentucky, considering the struggles the Hilltoppers have had finishing red zone drives with touchdowns, that's a great effort by McCray. Just get him out of the 5, force the Hilltoppers to run at least a couple more plays to earn it.
Agreed. But on the contrary, they're burning more clock. So they're enabled them to burn a little bit more clock, keep the ball on the ground here. Just got to protect the ball, and you got to end this drive with 7, not 3.
Walker's up to 124 yards now and only 15 carries after the 54-yarder. Up the middle, and he's in. Gage Walker's longest run of the season, got the tops down to the 5, and he takes it in from 1 yard out to open up this game 30-13 Western Kentucky.
Big play there. Cut back. They sent the blitz into the run, and Walker does a good job, gets rewarded for his effort, staying in bounds, man. Young running backs, you're a running back. Don't run out of bounds. It's a pet peeve of mine when I'm watching on Sundays and Saturdays, watching these young running backs run out of bounds on the sideline. Man, put your head down and finish plays. The best one that I've ever been around that did that was Leon Allen and Damian Williams, who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. Super MVP.
31-13, the Western Kentucky lead. 13:54 to go in the 4th. Tops have turned this one around. First offensive touchdown of the second half for Western Kentucky, but it's been all Hilltoppers since the break. They've scored 21 unanswered, make it 28 unanswered, going back to the final minute of the second quarter, and they now lead it 31-13 over FIU at Houchin-Smith Stadium in Bowling Green. Corey Munson ready to kick it away for the Hilltoppers, who did allow an 100-yard kick return touchdown in the second quarter to E.J. Wilson Jr. They have adjusted to short kick since. Here's another one. Dames takes it at the 16. Should have better field position this time. Stops and starts near the 30, and he's planted at the 29. And Munson was in on the tackle again. That's the second time Corey Munson has been part of a tackle today, the Western Kentucky kickoff man. So now, Stone Norton going on to his second possession for FIU. Brandon, what is the message for a Panthers offense that has been completely stymied since halftime?
Rhythm, rhythm, rhythm. Got to find an identity, like I said in the opener. Just got to take this one play at a time. You don't have a play in the playbook that's going to make up the difference right now. So you just got to take it one play at a time. If the best play is throwing this ball away, throw it away. If the best play is taking a sack, take a sack. But you can't make it up right now, all in one play.
Throw to the perimeter, diving attempt by Singleton. He thought he had it, and they say incomplete. He's saying it didn't hit the ground. He's also doing it inadvertently, the incomplete signal. Let's get a second look. Yeah, it's going to be incomplete.
Young quarterback's reeling a little bit. Got to get him a screen. Got to find a way to get him in rhythm, man. Got to make sure that you build on this thing. Don't want to kill a young kid's confidence in a game that's getting away from him a little bit here.
2nd and 10. Good protection into traffic, and it's knocked away incomplete. Fairweather got his hands to it, and now he's a little bit slow to get up. That was almost a spectacular catch by the true freshman tight end Rivaldo Fairweather.
Yeah, you're just praying at this point. 3 defenders versus 1. Credit to the coaching staff and quarterback for just having the confidence to take these shots, but at some point you got to worry about a kid's confidence, a young kid especially. You got to worry about his confidence. Got to get him something quick. Get the ball out of his hands. Don't let him stay in there. You just can't take a sack here. Just have him learn the game. These are plays right now that you can just learn the game. Learn what situations are in games.
And Butch Davis used a timeout with a play clock running down. In the end, it looked like the Panthers did just get it off. But Davis uses his second timeout of the second half with his Panthers down by 18 and facing a 3rd down and 10. This would drop FIU to 0-5. Again, it has been not even a tumultuous season for the Panthers. It's just been a disastrous one in terms of their poor luck. Players they've missed because of COVID, players they've missed because of injuries. They've had 13 different starters miss time this year, and they've been limited to only 5 games already this year. Obviously, Western Kentucky has played twice as many. In fact, the Hilltoppers have had the exact opposite COVID luck. Western Kentucky is playing for the 9th week in a row. One of only 4 teams in the country in FBS to be playing for at least a 9th straight week today. Texas State, SMU, and Virginia Tech are the other 3. Nobody else has had the schedule and then the luck to keep themselves on the field week in and week out. FIU has been on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. This would be a 7th straight loss for the Panthers, and maybe most disastrously, this would take them past a calendar year without a win. Their last victory was 364 days ago, November the 23rd, over the Miami Hurricanes at Marlins Park. Probably the biggest win in program history, certainly the biggest name brand win. 3rd and 10. Norton has some time again. He's going to run, hit from behind, and dropped across the 35 and the 36. That sets up 4th down and 2, and you'd think that FIU might consider going for this, and they're going to.
You can tell quarterback's a little shaken up. He's when that happens, and I've been there as a young guy, man, you got to make sure you're not watching the rush. Young quarterbacks, don't look at the rush. You have to feel the rush. Your eyes should be on the defensive backs and what they're trying to accomplish, not on the rush.
4th and 2. Kane times his blitz beautifully. Norton in trouble. Throw is knocked away by Kincaid. Holloman was right at the sticks. Antoine Kincaid denied the throw, and Western Kentucky takes over on downs. Hilltoppers ball after this. After the 4th down stop, Western Kentucky gets it back on downs. 1st and 10 from the FIU 36-yard line. Trying to build on a 28-0 run, going back to the final minute of the second quarter when Tyrell Pigram ran it in from a yard out to bring the Hilltoppers within 3. 2 defensive touchdowns early in the 3rd quarter. Then Gage Walker had the score. Trickery from the tops. Pigram steps up, goes deep, and left it short. That was well behind his intended target, Joshua Simon.
Yeah, a little razzle-dazzle. Gotta love it. Coach Helton, you just never know when it's going to pull up. It's a tendency breaker. Breaking news here. Hilltoppers only run razzle-dazzle plays on first and 10. That's the 3rd time I've seen them run either a flea flicker or a pitch back to the quarterback. It's always been on 1st and 10. I'm not sure what that is, but if the opposing defense, I know it, the opposing defenses know it. So I thought it was a good call. I thought you got to be on time, and everybody's got to execute when those plays happen.
Walker had success off the right side on the last possession. This goes for a gain of 2. Went for 54 yards down to the 5, then took a couple more carries to punch it in. 17 carries for 127 yards for the converted defensive back Gage Walker in his 2nd season as the Hilltoppers running back, although he has not been asked to do quite as much as he was last year when he was 18th in the country with 241 carries. He got 92% of Western Kentucky's carries among running backs last year. Do have Jakari Moses back behind him now after Moses missed the last 2 years with ACL injuries. Pigram to throw on 3rd and 8. Deep again toward Burt and incomplete. He had a couple of men down there. Could have chosen between Corley or Burt, but Anderson defended Craig Burt Jr., and that brings up 4th down for the Tops in a situation where they have to decide between a long field goal and going for it.
I think with that call, he had all intentions of going for this. But I thought you might want to get half if you expected to go for it, you're throwing a prayer ball with a number 2 receiver that gets a little bit of width. If you do that, you got no chance on the outside there.
4th and 8 now. Hilltoppers in danger of giving the ball right back with very little time off the clock. Pigram under pressure, steps up, stays behind the line of scrimmage, now hit and sacked. He said he didn't go down. The official said he did. A sack for Rashard Dames on 4th down. And Western Kentucky turns it right back over on downs after going backward.
Wow. I thought he was going to fumble this ball. That ball was hanging out. Granted to him, I can't believe he held on to it, but questionable 3 there. They are definitely trying to put points on the board here, trying to get explosive plays even up in this game. So, wow. FIU's got, they have not like really put them fully away yet. If they can put a drive together here, make this a 2-possession game, we can have ourselves a ball game. Got to get Norton in rhythm here.
1st and 10. Norton over the middle. It's off the hands of Fairweather and incomplete. Fairweather had that huge game a week ago. He went for 116 yards and a touchdown against FAU in the Shula Bowl last Friday, but just has not been on the same page with Norton.
Yeah, a little late going to it. Great coverage. Great physical defense right there at the point of attack, but just great job. Quarterback's cannot be late on those slant throws. No receiver wants that ball over the middle. So if you can protect him a little bit with the throw by being on time, you get run after the catch.
Norton has time again. It's batted down to the line by Jeremy Darvin. He had a sack in the first half and knocks down this pass now in the 4th quarter to set up 3rd down and 10.
Norton's been in there for about a quarter and a half, or about a quarter, and he has yet to see a completion yet. He's 0 for 6. Got to find a way. This is the reason why he has got no success. It's because they keep getting on these 3rd and real long situations, 4th in these real long situations with a freshman quarterback. You're just expecting a lot out of him. Got to help him out by getting him some screens, get him some quick game. I know he missed on a couple quick game throws, but that's just a product of him being out of rhythm. He's just out of rhythm in this game.
They have protected him relatively well. 3rd and 10. Malone's coming. It goes to the flat for Price. Gets past Meadows, but falls in front of Amari Alexander after a gain of 2. And we'll see if FIU goes for it again. Looks like they will on 4th and 8.
Malone's been a little quiet in this game. He had that forced fumble that led to a touchdown, but we haven't called his name too much today. I mean, I expected big things. Maybe I'm just used to it. He's such an explosive, unbelievable player. I'm just used to him making an impact. He's seeing some double teams. When you have that attention, you get to see some double teams, and they communicate you. You know, he's what I would confirm to be a game wrecker.
Norton on 4th down. Way short. Intended for Singleton. That was nowhere near him in the end, and that's 3 straight possessions, 2 for FIU, 1 for Western Kentucky, to end in turnovers on downs.
Pocket just collapsed on him a little bit. Young guy, you got to get him out of the pocket a little bit. Got to change the angle, change the launching point a little bit. Those defensive ends are just, they're just running to a spot 9.5 yards away from the quarterback. That's your aiming point as a quarterback. If you're taking a 3-step drop at a hitch, you are told not to get beyond 9.5 yards. When you sit at 9.5 yards, the offensive line knows that, but so does the defense. And all they're doing is just gearing back and knowing they have to throw the ball. It's a tough situation for a young quarterback. So young OCs, young guys in high school or middle school, whatever, change the launching point of those quarterbacks and make sure that he can get out of the pocket and see it clean.
Pigram on 1st down. Hands off to the left side. Jakari Moses knocked out of bounds after a gain of 6 down to the FIU 38.
Looks like the Hilltoppers are going to use their identity as an outside zone team. I know that in this offense, we experience in an offense similar to this, when you have athletes, when you have big offensive linemen, you can get obsessed with running outside zone and pulling all these guys when you got athletic guys back there. But
From out of bounds to the first down.
I think for the future of these Hilltoppers, they got to figure out an identity. They got to figure out if they're going to set the run up with the pass. They got to figure out if they're going to set the pass up with the run. How are they going to handle screen plays? How are they going to handle getting explosive plays off screens, off things that they have set up essentially in the first half of the games? But how you create big plays is just being able to be successful with short intermediate passes, sucking up that defense and finding a way to get over the top.
Moses bounces to the outside, cuts it back up to the 20, to the sideline of the 10, and knocked out of bounds inside the 5.
Great run.
Jakari Moses has missed each of the last 2 seasons with ACL injuries, with the exception of a little bit of action in the opener last year before he was hurt, and he is a valuable piece to spell Gage Walker.
He is. He's got a good change of direction. He does a good job. But that play was made up by the outside guys, the perimeter guys blocking on the edge. I've been told multiple times, these guys, these receivers, you want to play at this level, you got to catch the ball and make plays with your feet, but you also got to block.
Pigram keeps it. Second rushing touchdown of the game for Tyrell Pigram. And Western Kentucky has turned this into a blowout. 37-13 Hilltoppers.
Zone read by Pigram there. Good job. Nice read. Hilltoppers are rolling right now. Product of a young quarterback, a product of having to go for it on these fourth downs, getting these short yardage situations, but got to be positive for Tyson Helton's team moving forward, that they can put, just seeing the points on the board. This team struggled on offense a little bit, sustaining drives. So important game today, just putting points on the board, and this is important for them moving forward.
38-13, the Western Kentucky lead. FIU gets it back after this. Western Kentucky has scored 35 unanswered points going back to the final minute of the first half and opened up a 38-13 lead over FIU in the fourth quarter. Nate Gatter, Brandon Dowdy back with you from Houchin-Smith Stadium in Bowling Green. And Brandon, at this point, it's just a question of closing things out for the Hilltoppers, you would think, but still a lot left for FIU in trying to reestablish themselves, especially with Stone Norton at quarterback. Never know about the availability of Max Bortenschlager going forward after he looked like he was shaken up. Kick goes into the end zone for a touchback. So I'm sure that the Panthers' offensive staff will still be thinking there's plenty worth playing for the final 9:23.
Yeah, I know. When you're tuning into these games and you see 38, maybe you just turn on the TV, you got 38-13. Man, what am I watching this one for? But to me, it means a lot more, especially with the COVID rules this year. If you're going to have a down year, first of all, you're going to have a down year, this was the year to have it. I mean, it's essentially a spring game. You're going to get everybody back that wants to come back for your team next year. So for me, you got to evaluate. You got to take these last couple games to evaluate your team. Maybe it's not about wins and losses at this point. Maybe it's about just evaluating your team for the future, understanding who you got coming back, who can you rely on in big games, and who can you put your trust in. And so, a lot of these coaches are going to have to make these really tough decisions, very, very tough decisions with new high school kids coming in and everybody allowing to scholarships not expanding. So they're going to have to make these big time tough roster decisions. So these kids got a lot to play for. I mean, if you're an upperclassman and you haven't played much, or you're not giving effort in the last 2 games, thinking that this thing is over, we're 0-4, going to be 0-5 here. Man, you got a lot to play for. You got to play for still to renew your scholarship, and how they've structured these things. You got to renew it. And on the opposite side of that, man, you got a team with some free agents coming in, quote unquote, free agents coming in here and going to be able to establish maybe being able to get some good players in this conference. Both of these two teams can definitely benefit from the free transfer rule that is being implied right now. So a lot to play for, especially if you're kind of in the game right now, late in this game in a blowout. You just got a lot to play for. And I think that, Nate, going back to that, I think you just got to figure out who you got. FIU's got to figure out their identity, figure out who their quarterback is going to be next year, and then stick with it, go through the lumps. If it's a young guy, it's a young guy. If it's an old guy, it's an old guy. go through the lumps and try to reestablish a winning tradition here moving forward when they had T.Y. Hilton and those big players that they had from back in the day.
Speaking of finding a quarterback, Kalen Wiggins is in, the third FIU quarterback. He actually started the opener. He throws downfield in the general direction of Mitchell, and Singleton was around there as well. It sort of split the difference between the two of them. This is the third game out of 5 this year that FIU has used 3 different quarterbacks. The Panthers have used multiple in every game. And Wiggins, the 6'2", 200-pound redshirt junior from Sanford, Florida, the best runner of the bunch, and he got a lot of playing time last year. Played in 10 games, started 1 of them for the Panthers, and primarily a runner rather than a passer. Certainly the biggest threat on the ground of the trio. Second down and 10 against the blitz. Wiggins steps up. You can see the eyes come down right away. Malone pursues him and sandwiches him with Eli Brown. Welcome to the game, Kalen Wiggins. Pickup of 2, but he paid the price.
Yes, he did. Like young quarterbacks, young quarterbacks have the tendency to look at the rush. I said it earlier in the calf, but you can't look at the rush. You got to feel the rush. It's a feel, and it's really only simulated in live situations. If you're in fall camp and you're not in live situations, when you play a little faster when you don't want to be hit. So simulating the game is tough, and the only way to do that is in situations like this where maybe the game's in at hand, but you just got to make sure that you find a way to make plays and do the right things. Do the little things in these games to separate yourself moving forward for the future of this program.
3rd and 8. Wiggins on the comeback. It's knocked in the air, nearly intercepted by Trey Meadows. Intended for Mitchell, and Meadows had a golden opportunity.
Yikes. Rolls out, does a good job extending the play. I thought we got away with a hold. But man, don't make a bad play worse. Young quarterback, don't make it worse. No, you can't get it all back at once. If it ain't there, it ain't there. Take a throwaway, try to rush, get a couple yards, get yourself knowing the situation. Football is all about the situation. If you understand situational football, hey, we're down. We're going to go for it on 4th down. All I got to do is get half. All I got to do is make it more manageable. If you turn the ball over, you're just giving them a reason to get rid of you. You don't want to get rid of you. These kids are playing for their livelihood, their scholarships. So
4th down and 8. Wiggins steps up, has a man, and it's caught along the sideline for a first down to the Western Kentucky 41-yard line by Fairweather, who now is grabbing at his chest. You mentioned T.Y. Hilton. Rivaldo Fairweather last week, when he went for 7 catches, 116 yards, is a touchdown, as you get a second look at this first down catch. Had the 4th most receiving yards for a true freshman Panther ever. And the top 2 in program history are both owned by T.Y. Hilton. They both came in 2008 when he was a Panthers freshman. So Fairweather sniffing some rather good company there. Also 116 yards, first ever 100-yard game for a true freshman Panthers tight end. Wiggins rolls to the right, has time to look downfield, throws toward the end zone into double coverage, and it's knocked away. Cray and Ruffin were there covering Chris Mitchell.
You know, when you think about where these two programs are going moving forward, you got to think about, first, you got to understand your personnel. You got and people don't understand, like, hey, man, no, they're playing 3 quarterback. What's the big deal, you know? And like you said, all those quarterbacks have special skill sets. And if you know what the skill set of these quarterbacks are, you can mold your offense based upon that skill set. And that can make success. So, again, this guy's a good runner. Run some zone read with him. Make sure he's comfortable back there. Set him up for plays where he don't have to think. Don't have to overthink everything. Make it simple for him. So, coordinators moving forward, you just got to stick with a guy. In my opinion, you just got to stick with a guy. Go through the bumps. Go through the highs. Go through the lows. But by playing all 3 of them, man, it's just hard to get in a rhythm. I've been in that situation with the split quarterback. It's tough to get in a rhythm.
3rd down and 2 coming up on the Western Kentucky 33-yard line. Looked like Western Kentucky showed the blitz. Stiff arm by Williams, and he's eventually stopped short of the line to gain. In fact, they didn't give him any gain whatsoever. Arkansas transfer Malik Williams, who got his first Panthers carry a week ago, getting some action late on today.
4 down territory again here. I think they're going for it from here on out.
4th down and 2. Devontae Price is back in there. Still mostly starters for both teams, with the exception of Kalen Wiggins, the 3rd FIU quarterback to appear. Against a 4-man rush. Slips out of an ankle tackle and has a first down inside the 30. He needed 2 and he got 5.
Good play. Smart play. So they ran like a little double slant with a little spot route on the other side. Zone coverage. Spot route's supposed to be for zone coverage. Man coverage, you run the slants. You have identified identifiers by knowing where your personnel is and figuring out what the pre-snap read is on that one. He guessed wrong a little bit on there, but he did the second best thing. We got in the books, he's got a minus and a plus. Minus is he read the wrong side, spot was open. Plus is he made a play with his feet and got a first down.
Singleton makes the catch. He's hit hard after a pickup of maybe 2. Bryce Singleton, who came in as FIU's leading receiver with 10 catches this year. Had a strong sophomore year, but missed all of last year with a knee injury. He was a quarterback as a kid and for his high school's JV team as a freshman, but then he quit football totally in high school to focus on baseball and basketball, where he was all state. He came back to his football coach before his junior year and said he wanted to return to football, but he wasn't going to play quarterback. He wanted to play wide receiver. And he said, Coach, I'm going to go for 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. This is a kid who's never played varsity football in his life. Downfield throw to Singleton. It's knocked out of his hands by Cray. And not only did he do that, he went for 1,213 TDs.
Wow. That's a cool story.
Chose FIU in the end over Cincinnati. Bush Davis had praise for him, calling him a crafty kid who runs some good routes. And Singleton was especially close to Aubrey Hill, FIU's wide receivers coach, who passed away in August at just 48 years old after a battle with cancer. He was the first Panther to approach Butch Davis about dedicating the season to Hill. And FIU wears a helmet decal this year that says, "We family, boss," which is an Aubrey Hill saying. He said Hill was like a second father to him, that he really believed that when he said they were family. Throw goes to the outside. Singleton again inside the 20. Cuts across the middle to the 15. Keeps his feet and eventually is brought down from behind by Ricky Barber. Never a good sign for the defense when a defensive tackle is making a play more than 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. Another first down from Wiggins to Singleton.
Wiggins has done a good job on this drive, just extending plays with his feet. The first reads hasn't been there once in this drive, so he's doing a good job of extending plays with his feet. It looks like the receivers and he have been on the same page in the scramble drill. It's kind of practiced nowadays. I know when I played, it was practiced. Not sure why, because I wasn't much of a scrambler, but at the same time, you got to know when those plays happen, you can get some explosives.
Wiggins wants Singleton again. Back shoulder incomplete. Meadows in coverage. And wasn't really anywhere to go with that football.
Now, they tried a double move on the outside. Hilltoppers were not fooled at all. And Singleton's been targeted 4 plays in a row here. They must have a little bit of a connection with Wiggins.
And Singleton now checks out. He had a well-deserved breather. Caleb Lynham, redshirt sophomore, checks in his stead at the bottom of the screen. Mitchell and Jefferson toward the top. And E.J. Wilson Jr. is next to Wiggins on 2nd down and 10 from the 17. Wiggins keeps it, has room to the 10. Tried to make Devin Key miss, and he's brought down by a combination of Key and Malik Staples at the 5. Staples is listed as number 10. He's wearing 35 today for Western Kentucky because Kyle Bailey is not available. So Staples, who had been a linebacker, moved to running back, is now back at linebacker today to fill a weak spot for the Hilltoppers. His position has gone back and forth. High school running back, college linebacker at Louisville, transferred to Western Kentucky, becomes a running back, and now, at least for today, is back at linebacker. 1st and goal from the 5. Hit in the backfield, and nothing doing. Malik Williams was initially hit by Jalen Madden, and then a whole convoy of defensive linemen arrived for the Hilltoppers.
This has been a long drive, but but a positive and a lot of negatives today for FIU on offense. They got to get this one in the end zone for 7 just for morale and moving forward.
Wiggins to the wide side, knocked away by Ruffin, but a flag comes out. There was a lot of contact. Tyson Helton is irate, and a number of Western Kentucky coaches are headed down there toward the end zone to argue this call. Tyson Helton is beyond the goal line right now in his frustration with this call. I thought maybe Ruffin looking back for the football might save him, but there was a lot of contact.
Pass interference, defense, number 26. Probably placed on the 2-yard line, automatic first down.
And it's interesting that the officials are indulging this from Tyson Helton. They're talking to him inside the 5. He's now pantomiming against the official what Ruffin was doing. I've never seen officials allow a coach to come that far beyond what's supposed to be the limit of the sideline at the 15 and then talk to him.
Still over there.
Year 2 in Conference USA, he gets to do what he wants now. He's not the new guy anymore.
He's the reigning player, coach of the year.
First and goal from the 2. Williams, left side. He's hit by Kincaid and stopped. Into the final minute. No, we're going to stop at 1:03. Butch Davis wants to use his 3rd and final timeout of the second half. And they're playing for pride, but a significant amount of it on both sidelines. FIU wanted to punch it in. Western Kentucky trying to keep them out. Take a short break, and we'll be back after this. 38-13, Hilltoppers, a minute to go. Not a lot left to play for with just a minute and change left, and Western Kentucky up 38-13, but I think you'd be hard-pressed to tell the 22 players on the field there's not much left on the line. Western Kentucky was fired up after the first and goal stop, and Butch Davis then used his final timeout. E.J. Wilson Jr. has replaced Malik Williams at running back. Wiggins has time towards Singleton and incomplete. Meadows in coverage. That brings up 3rd down and goal from the 2.
Good job by the Hilltoppers. They're on a bracket coverage here, which is just an isolation outside, 3-by-1. All they do is they isolate the outside, 1-on-1, but the inside guys bracket. So what that means is they inside out, they need that slot receiver. So one guy plays on the inside leverage, another guy plays on the outside leverage. Pretty common theme, but they do a really good job of communicating here on that play.
Hand off to Wilson. Bulls toward the goal line. He was hit low by D'Angelo Malone.
Wilson on the carry.
Check that. He was hit low by somebody wearing 19, which is not a listed number on the Western Kentucky defense. In any event, it's 4th down and goal. C.J. Maria had the tackle. And now we're inside 30 seconds. FIU has one more chance. Malik Williams back in behind Kalen Wiggins. Wiggins keeps it, and Wiggins gets in. So it took FIU 4 tries, and it took nearly all the remaining time on the clock. But the Panthers do get in. That is their first score since the second quarter and snaps a 35-0 Western Kentucky run.
Yikes. Hey, glass is half full. We scored last. So that can be echoed in moving forward. Just got to make sure that they stay motivated and these kids really understand the value of finishing this season strong. I mean, I can't echo it enough, but these kids are they're fighting for their scholarships like everybody else. I mean, it's becoming, I'm not a believer of it. Trust me, don't get me wrong, but I think that when you sign a kid for 4 years, you're committed to him for 4 years. But the way it is structured nowadays, it's really become a 1 year at a time scholarship.
Delay a game called against FIU. They were lining up to go for 2. This will back it up now, and they'll be going for 2 from the 8-yard line. Don't see this very often. In most situations, if it were obvious you had to go for 2, most cases they'd be ready for it and wouldn't get a delay a game. And then in most cases, if you were going for 2 when you didn't have to, you'd go ahead and kick it after getting a penalty. So a rare 2-point conversion attempt from farther than the 3. Wiggins toward the corner. Wiggins fakes Brown nicely and gets inside the pylon. So perhaps Kalen Wiggins is making the case that FIU should, rather than trying to solve the problems in the passing game, just turn to a dual threat quarterback and see if that opens things up by default.
Nate, you stole the words right out of my mouth. I've been really impressed with his poise and his abilities to extend plays, make plays with his feet, doing a good job of just taking what they give you and making the plays when they present themselves. I think he's done a good job here, and he's really vouching to be the future quarterback for this. And as he even walks to the sideline, he's got a lot of his teammates encouraging him. So that's a good sign moving forward for this team. Long drive, long sustained drive. That's tougher than you think, man. When you have you're with 10 other guys that might not be highly motivated out there, but he's loving up on the offensive line. I'm just really impressed with him in that drive. He did a really good job of making plays with his feet, but also when the passes presented itself, just gave a lot of balls that were mine or nobody's. We call those, your receiver's gonna catch it or nobody's gonna catch it. So he did a good job.
So now we're gonna see an onside kick. We're kind of getting to see all this sort of stuff that you'd see at the end of a close game.
Yeah.
Because it's such a blowout. We've crossed over to the other side where FIU's just letting it all hang out. Might as well go for it, and maybe we get to see Kalen Wiggins launch one or two to the end zone. Now it looks like maybe they're going to kick it deep. They lined up as though to go onside, and that's how it was initially positioned on the tee by Heatherly. And they have 6 players to the left side. The Panthers are looking at each other like they have no idea what they're doing. And Tyson Helton might have just bailed them out by calling timeout, because the coaches were yelling at Heatherly, who then repositioned it on the tee. And the guys to the far side of the field were looking at each other like, what is going on? We thought the kick was coming this way.
Interesting play. I've seen it all in this game. I will be honest with you. I've seen back-to-back touchdowns for score or turnovers.
Have you seen that before?
No, I was unfortunately a part of that at University of Tennessee in 2013. We turned the ball over 5 consecutive plays, and I had 2 pick sixes in a row.
That seems almost difficult to do.
It was
like you'd think you'd get a drop pick in there somewhere, or you'd recover your own fumble or something, you know? Like you'd think you'd get a break. Not to pick a scab or anything.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. It's been 7 years, and I'm not gonna lie. I've lost so much sleep over that daggum game. I still thought like, you know, time will heal this. Time will heal this. Time will heal. No.
Is that the worst one? Which one's?
Oh, that's
really that's the worst game.
The worst game by far, and I think we only lost by like 6. We had 5 after 2 pick sixes, and we only lost by 6. And I think that one, reasoning for that, I threw 4 against La Tech in 14, which was rough, but we got blown out in that game, didn't have a chance. But throwing 5 interceptions and still having a chance to win the game, it's just rare. So
you think about that more than you think about the big wins?
That's funny to check because it's 100% true. 100% true. You think about the bads before the win. Like sometimes people remind me about, like, for example, we played not FAU. We played Middle Tennessee at Middle, and we lost like 59-63. And I remember going to second overtime, but I actually had forgotten that I broke the conference record for passing yards in that game at like 601. And I was like, I don't even remember that. We lost. Why does it matter?
So Tyrell Pigram takes the final kneel down of the game, and Western Kentucky, on the strength of back-to-back defensive touchdowns, to take the lead and extend it to 2 possessions in the third quarter. And a 35-0 run that stretched this out to a blowout type of scoreline, goes on to win 38-21. First back-to-back wins of the year for the Hilltoppers. Meanwhile, for FIU, it'll be over a year since a win, over 2 years since a true road win. For Brandon Dowdy and the rest of us here in Bowling Green, Nate Gander saying so long. Once again, our final score, Western Kentucky 38 and FIU 21. This has been a presentation of ESPN.